can I take? How much can I take? Yeah, before I go crazy, you don't wanna make me run it up alone all on my own, that's how I do. I've been staying quiet to myself, that's how I move. Never kept me tripping, never slipping, I'm cool. All this potent potion got me higher than the roof. I hustle all day, I'm working all. I can't slow it down, can't fuck around. No, I'm the one. Now you can't tell me nothing. No, I can't. No, I can't. Keep pushing my luck. Yeah, keep mixing it up. Keep pushing my luck. Keep rolling it up. Yeah, keep rolling it up. Yeah, keep on going up. All day. Right there. All day. Red eyes. Are they listening? Am I too distant? I've been drinking and my head keeps spinning. I can't go home. I can't go home tonight. I can't go home. I can't go home tonight. Are they listening or am I too distant? I've been drinking and my head keeps spinning. I can't go home. I can't go home tonight. I can't go home. I can't go home tonight. No, no.
You call that human rights, China? I call it human wrongs. Kamala, Sundays on TNT.
It's a picture-perfect match made in comedy heaven. Maya Rudolph as Senator.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Man, that play just a little too long there, but yeah, what's up, everybody? We're back. We're back with a new episode. We are back. We're not black. Well, I don't know. Bob may be black.
I'm partially black.
We did find out. Well, now when I say that, say that way, it's like, yeah, I found out. It's black where it counts, people. But welcome everybody to a brand new episode of State of the Election. We are back this week with some new topics. We took a little bit of a break last week as we prepare for a pretty hardcore month here in October, and of course leading up to the election. But with that, if you're watching right now, we got some viewers on the X.
What up, X?
What up, X? What up, motherfuckers?
Stop politics, motherfuckers!
All you people on X, you politic commentators. No, join us over on YouTube. Come subscribe to the channel. We do this every week. We like to have these conversations, and there'll be, I'm sure, some more stuff as we lead up into the election. We got a vice presidential debate coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, we do.
So we have that to look forward to. We've got maybe another debate before the election.
I think, like I said, I don't. As much as I wanted, I don't think he's going for it. And to be honest, I don't know really what we would get out of another debate with these two, aside from the same thing that we literally already got, which would kind of be him doing his same thing of, the border and the immigrants, and we got to fix the economy, and then she's going to do her same thing, kind of like she did in her new interview again. I mean, she's really hitting, for her, whatever talking points she was given, she is hitting all of them. She's coming off to me so far after all of these, after the debates, and then the interviews she's done now, which we're at a total of, 2, 3?
Yeah, I think 3, because I think I saw she did another one either yesterday or pretty recently, the day before.
Yes, I think the one she did yesterday was with MSNBC.
MSNBC, right. Okay. Our favorite news.
And that was another 20-minute fucking softball. Here you go. And, she did learn a new word. I do know that because as I watched, but I can't remember the word off the top of my head right now, but it will come to me because she only repeated it 19 times in one sentence. But yeah, I don't think we're getting another debate out of these two. So I think it's going to come down to the VP debate, which we're definitely going to have. I mean, we're already within, what are we, like 40 something days out from
We're out,
election day?
yeah. We're getting really close. I was just thinking about it because I was thinking about if we wanted to go live that night for the election,
Oh yeah.
and then I thought we'll probably do it, but then I thought so that the day leading up to it, the 2.5 days leading up to it, I have the 48-hour film project, so I'm gonna be up for 48 hours straight, leading right into the election. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be I yeah. We'll see how I get to the polls on November 4th.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, it's gonna get real it's gonna get real interesting real soon. I mean it already is interesting. We got a lot of things going on. We just had just today you have Democratic New York City Mayor Eric Adams not only being
yeah,
indicted but getting taken into custody. So
yep,
I mean it's I don't know what's going on out here, and I mean I think from what I looked into it, this has to do with more along the lines of either accepting some foreign money from some foreign and something
right,
like that.
yeah,
But I will point out that it does come. Um, I do find it a little funny that him being the guy that was standing up about what was it a couple months ago, talking about how I can't take on any more immigrants in my city.
right,
Now all of a sudden he's not doing so well.
yeah, yeah. Him and Diddy. It's been a wild week.
It has.
A lot of interesting conspiracy theories and stuff
It
going
has.
around, and
It has. I have to look more into it to see what he talked about, but you have FBI whistleblowers coming out as well, and are supposedly supposed to have a few more of them coming out in the coming weeks. So it's going to get the news cycle. I think is going to be very crazy. You're going to get a lot of
everybody's
distracting stories.
trying to kill the president. There was another
Yes,
attempt on Trump.
that's right.
There is
Asshole at the golf course.
apparently someone, not an attempt, but someone near or trying to gain access to Kamala or to there was a
Yeah,
hiccup just yesterday or today with Obama.
yeah. Somebody was able to get close to him. The Secret Service is not really doing too well here. Um,
somebody needs to fire this bitch that is in charge of this fight
yeah,
because
yeah.
she is going to have everyone killed.
Yeah,
This is
and
good.
and I don't know where the validity of this comes from because I only just saw it today. But you know, I mean, a few days ago we did get the supposed threat from Iran against Trump, warning him that hey, we're gonna fuck you up, bud. And
Right.
so he's on high alert with that. I believe they had a video posted on the Ayatollah's website, which was like a 3D model video showing them sending a drone into his golf course to kill him. Amazing. Then you had that idiot on the golf course with his long barrel sticking out of bushes. Oh my
Right.
God, what is
Yeah.
going on here? But the one I heard today, which is really weird, and again, I'm taking this with a fucking pillar assault, but apparently, from the Mexico-American border, there are supposedly quotes in that 3 to 4 surface-to-air missiles that have been snuck into our country and that are going to be used and targeted at President Trump's plane. Um, like it's just getting it's definitely getting insane. This is probably one of the craziest like elections cycle things like that I've ever like witnessed. I'm
Absolutely.
38 years old. I've seen a few, and I've never seen them where they've gotten like this. When I was younger, you'd always see just political ads on TV. This guy's an asshole. He doesn't love dogs. Don't vote for him. Now it is just insane, and it gets too
Well,
much, I think, for people to start taking in because you just become so inundated, and then
it's overwhelming, and it's
yeah,
very, and I think, but and this kind of leads into a topic that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show. So make sure to stick around for that. And that is the kind of topic of consequences for misinformation or rhetoric or that type of stuff. But yeah, it's wild because it's kind of it's run rampant, especially with social media. Especially you have fucking Elon Musk tweeting, conspiracy shit and all this, and with the little 100, or exactly, you're like, what the fuck is happening, man?
Yeah, it's a weird timeline we're in, for sure.
This is not the 616 timeline.
It's
We are
definitely
not
the sacred timeline at all.
We are not the sacred timeline. We're on our way. This is what happens when a timeline starts to die off.
I'm thinking our anchor being died a while ago.
Oh, thanks, babe. Even though he called you gay. Damn.
Thanks, Brad.
But yeah, it is. It's getting really wild and stuff. Shit, man. Where do you want to start?
Dealer
We
with
got-
choice, bud. You tell
we
us
got
who
it.
you want to go with. What seems the most
Well, we can either head right to KamalaHarris.com and start the breakdown.
I mean, we could, because there finally is policies up there. We got
There are
policy
some
points
things
on the website now.
Yes, we can talk about that little video you sent me.
Yes. 'Cause
Uh,
somebody thought it was a good idea to send Joe Biden to the View, and I don't know who that was, but that person should. I'm sure they're fired today.
well, and somebody also thought it was a good idea to send Kamala to Oprah, and even Oprah was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so let's start with the thing that we've been teasing our diehard fans. To all our diehard fans out there, here's what you've been waiting for the last couple weeks. So we have here, finally, Miss Kamala Harris has decided to, even though the first thing is to donate, 25, 47, what kind of, okay, now that's just weird, 25 to 47. What kind of an odd number is 47?
Because that's the president she would be.
Makes
sense.
Okay. All right. So I know the policies are here somewhere. I just need to find them.
Yeah. Now you would think once you get past the donate page, that would be the first thing slapping you in the face.
Issues.
Like here, 40 days left. Register because this is what I'm going to do.
Right. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is issues. Yep. I think this is it.
I believe you're correct. Yes.
All right. So here we go. We are going to build an opportunity economy and lower costs for families. Okay, that's the other thing too. Every commercial and ad I see, it starts off with "My mother was a
Dude, that has got to be like every time
They gotta take it
this.
back. They
Every
gotta
time
pull
she's
it back.
asked about the economy, like, so let me ask you, how would you fix the economy? Well,
Right.
my mother was a middle class. How the fuck does that help anybody? It doesn't. Nobody cares that you can relate.
They have to violently pull back on that because it is like it's at this point it's so obvious that you are trying so desperately hard to make sure everybody knows that you at one point lived a somewhat regular life.
I mean, I buy it. I buy it a little bit more from Walls than I do her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
He
Absolutely.
kind of has like that good old boy kind of country bumpkin Midwesterner kind of feel to him.
Yeah, that kind of get your hands dirty. Because even with her, she very much went from, going to law school. Like, you're making a lot of money in law and being a lawyer and doing that.
Sure.
So she lived, from besides her childhood, and whatever,
Let's be honest here. Her mother nor her father were struggling people. Okay,
Right,
they weren't struggling people at all, by any means. So I don't care that her mother was technically middle class. It doesn't matter now. Today, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. It's not helping anybody pay for a house, buy groceries, put gas in their car, or pay bills.
Exactly. And I completely agree. They need to cut back on that for sure. I love this comment. The "he's for them, she's for you" ad makes me want to die every time I see it.
Yeah.
So let's see here. She believes that when the middle class is strong, America is strong. That's why President Kamala Harris will create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to compete and a chance to succeed, whether they live in a rural area, small town, or big city. has made clear that the building of the middle class will be a defining goal of the president. That's why she'll make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans. She will fight to cut taxes for more than 100 million working and middle class Americans while lowering the costs of everyday needs like health care, housing, and groceries. She'll bring together organized labor and workers, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and American companies to create good paying jobs, grow the economy, ensure the America continues to lead the world. Read Vice President, New Way Forward Plan. Oh, in its entirety. Okay, so there you go. So at least there's a link there to details.
Are there actual details in it? Like, I'm going to do this to get this down, or no, or just more?
Oh, this is a document. I should have examined this before. Yes, yes, actually, yes, and I will preview it. Actually, good on her. You took your sweet time, Kamala. I love you. You took your sweet time, but I will say this as of right now, this in this one area already outdoes anything Trump has on his regarding details. Let's go. Here we go. We have an entire policy playbook for economy opportunity. Over 76 pages talking about dealing with, different companies, different organizations, bringing them, bigger companies like Goldman Sachs and stuff, to bring them on for help and stuff. Survey, like this is a lot of details. A new $6,000 tax cut to help families pay for the
No,
high
I just find it
first
funny.
year of life.
Yeah, the $6,000 tax credit. Yeah, that's her big thing. Okay.
Restoring the expanded child tax credit to up to a $3,600 to help more than 100 million Americans. Expanding earned income tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Workers who would benefit from Harris's earned tax credit. Bus drivers, dishwashers, agricultural workers, cooks, cashiers, retail salespersons, personal and home care aides.
Can you go up a little bit again to
Sure.
that graph? I just wanted to read the very bottom there.
Sure.
Like at the very bottom, right there. Yep.
Source, center on budget and policy priorities.
Okay. Center on budget and policy priorities. Okay. All right. I just wanted to see what they were sourcing. That's all.
Sure. Let's see. First Vice President will invest in building resilient food supply chains. So revitalize competition in food and grocery prices because a healthy and competitive marketplace means lower costs for consumers. She'll direct her administration to crack down on unfair mergers and acquisitions that give big food corporations the power to jack up food and grocery prices by instructing agencies to specifically evaluate the risk that a proposed merger would raise grocery prices for consumers. On top of this, she'll instruct her administration to focus on investigating and prosecuting price fixing, where companies illegally collude to set prices up and down food supply chains. She'll make the federal government she will make sure the federal government has the resources to identify and take on anti-competitive practices in the food and grocery industry. So definitely that's some details in this.
Right.
Literally for certain states too. There's your famous "she's getting Doritos."
Christ. I found them, Kamala. I found them.
You said you love Doritos, right? Come on here.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, look, that's a pretty detailed playbook.
Sure.
Little even.
Now, my question would be: has anybody in her campaign showed her this playbook? Because why hasn't she been hitting these specific points in interviews? Why are you still why are you still like dancing around questions? If you have this plan and she's touting that, I have a plan, not a concept of a plan, then tell everybody.
and I do think, like we've talked about before, and I think this is to the detriment of the Democrats. They are wrong in doing in thinking this way, right? But the fact is that most Democrats are not thinking that they're going to win this election on policy. They're thinking they're going to win it based on the energy and the excitement, the joy, the this, the that, all of these different things. And it's sad because there are obviously some good policy things and stuff, but they are so focused. I think top Democrats are so focused on that we have to be, you know, we have to keep this energy. We have to keep this hype of all of this, just till the election. We have to beat Trump. That's their attitude. Beat
Oh,
Trump, no
sure,
matter what.
sure.
Right.
And I get how that would energize your base, but right now your biggest problem is the battleground states. And right now, um,
Sure.
yesterday or 2 days ago, there was a bunch of polls that came out that show that they're not where they want to be as far as Democrats, as far as youth vote, as far as women's vote, as far as Black, Latina. They should be skyrocketing past him when it comes to those things. And
Yeah.
again, polling is polling, and who gives a fuck? Because I've never been polled once. Nobody's ever asked me a goddamn thing. Okay, so I don't know where these polls even come from. But regardless, I, it, it, I
Yeah.
feel like you're 100% correct that they're just way too laser focused on the wrong things, instead of because that's what
So
people want to
talking
hear.
about these policies, well,
Yeah.
people like you and me, but that's the thing. They're dealing with.
Well,
They're trying to get the new generation. They're trying to get. And I
sure.
do want to point before we go on too quickly here, because it's not showing up on my StreamYard. It's a good thing I looked. So first of all, we've got quite a few people watching on the X on the Twitter. Thank you to everybody who's
Yeah.
checking
Thanks,
out.
Elon.
Yeah, we'll post the link to the YouTube in the chat there. So if you're interested, you can check us out every week and come into the comment section over there. But we do have a couple comments from Twitter,
What I have to say?
right? So we've got here Trump's economic policy. This is from Crystal Lim. Thanks for watching, Crystal. Make sure and share us and like us if you're enjoying the show. Let's see. Trump's economic policies have proven successful for average American voters. Despite misleading language from the media and leftist politicians, Vice President Kamala Harris' economic plans are not in our best interests. Support Trump in 2024 to continue prosperity. Well, first of all,
You're the best, Crystal. I love you.
Just as I'm about to say, we're a non-biased podcast that likes to sweep up. Bob just comes in. Yeah, fuck yeah, Trump 2020. We fucking love you, Crystal. I love it. But no, look, obviously, I disagree in some aspects of that comment. I don't think his policy has proved as successful for everybody. I think they proved successful for his friends and for millionaires and for all these higher companies and stuff. And sure, it gives them reason to stay here and to want to be in business and do all of these things. But at the same time, it's to the detriment of the people.
I don't know. I'm not his friend or I'm not his friend or a company, but I was making more money when he was in office than I am now. So
really,
my federal income tax was lower. And you know what's funny is
I can tell you this: my grandmother's Social Security is more now than it was when he was in office.
Like she gets more, or she's taxed more?
No, she got. I want to say she got like $300 extra this year, or 200, something
good.
like. It was a pretty like size that we were like, oh shit, like that helps.
Sure, yeah.
But no, Crystal, just because we disagree, look, thank you so much for watching and for commenting and stuff. And look, I personally, I don't think like they haven't presented Kamala's plans, I think, enough for us to go like they're not the best yet. Looking at that document, and I do plan to examine it before the next episode and then really look into it. But looking at what little I saw so far, there's a lot of detail in there, and there's a lot in there that they should be pushing, that she should be saying, and that she should, because I think it's worth saying. But yeah, I definitely,
And this type of stuff, the economy stuff, is the stuff that people like me and you, who make up a lot of the people that live in the rural areas, like Pennsylvania, which she's battling hard in, they want to hear about this. They don't want to hear about, well, I'm going to give you an opportunity economy where everybody's dreams and aspirations can just come true. Like that doesn't tell anybody anything. The
Right.
poor guy at a steel mill who's, busting his ass 60 hours a week to barely put food on the table, he doesn't his dreams and aspirations are just to provide for his family. And he can barely do that now. So give the guy some solid ground to stand on, and that's how you gain a voter. This is what I'm going to do directly for you, sir. Not, oh, I'm doing this and this. No, you need to grab these people, because if you're intending to win this election, those are the states and those are the people that you have to give these policies to directly, so that they
Right.
know where you stand, because that's how you end up with undecided voters and voters who don't vote.
Yeah, absolutely. So what it basically looks like it does here is it gives a lot of like synopsis, but not good synopsis. Like, if you really want to know about her plan to cut taxes and do all that, this 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 is what you want to read. That big document. Because this is a lot of kind of like I said, paragraphs and synopsis of those types of
Yes.
things. So this again brings up the child tax credit and earned income credit.
Hmm.
Um, all those types of things make rent more affordable.
Sure.
Um,
I'm sure it mentions the 25. I would assume it had to have mentioned the $25,000 down payment for a home. Um,
so yeah,
I would
exactly,
assume that's in there as
exactly,
well. So.
exactly. Yep, here we go. We'll provide with up to help with their down payments with more generous support for first generation homeowners. This will help Americans experience the pride of homeownership and financial security. Blah blah blah.
Yes. Which just quickly, right now, the average home in America, average home price is like $400,000. Just so
Really?
everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Jeez.
So I hope you
Uh,
either got 800 credit score, or you're military, or something like that, where you get some sort of rate deal.
right.
Because
Well, it depends. Like it depends, right? I mean, like I know here in Vegas, right? There's homes from the 200s. Good homes and stuff, and but it's all very dependent too. Like I know, like California, you can't live in California. I can't live in California. So,
no, I don't even.
or
People in California can't even live in California right now.
right,
So
or New York. New York too is another
same thing.
very
Yeah, it's
yeah.
priced out to the max.
So let's see here. Grow business and invest in entrepreneurs. Let's see. Know that small businesses, neighborhood shops, high tech startups, small manufacturing, and more are the energies of our economy. She has led the Biden Harris administration efforts to increase access to capital for small businesses and bring venture capital to parts of middle America that have for too long been overlooked, driving a record 19 million new business applications, tripling the Small Business Administration's lending to black-owned businesses, and more than doubling small dollar lending to Latino and women-owned businesses. She's also championed expanding federal contract for minority-owned businesses. As part of the opportunity agenda that she has put forward, a plan to help small businesses and entrepreneurs innovate and grow. She has set an ambitious goal of 25 million new business applications by the end of her first term, over 10 million more than Trump saw during his term. To help achieve this, she'll expand the startup expense tax deduction for new business from 5,000 to 50,000, and take on the everyday obstacles and red tape that can make it harder to grow a small business. She will drive venture capital to the talent that exists all across our country, including rural areas, and increase share of. Okay, so I'm sure that there's more details and stuff because this sounds nice and stuff. 5,000 to 50,000 tax deduction when you start a business, and there definitely are a lot of obstacles and red tape when you start a small business.
Yeah.
So just how you gonna? But again, she's got that document there that really goes into detail of a lot of this. I think.
Well, I mean,
Safeguards
again,
are
this is good at
yeah
least. I mean, this is something more than, again, what she said in the whole time that she's been running. Um, but again, somebody needs to show her this, because these are the things she should be saying on the minimal interviews that she's doing. You know what I mean? Like this, if you were saying this, and this stuff, and you were giving specifics without just being so roundaboutish about it, I think she would have a better shot. at
Right.
capturing a lot of these undecideds. But I don't know if it's her directly, whoever's running her campaign, because the Oprah thing was heinous. It's heinous.
That was
we're not-
heinous. But there are times she gets it too, because, like, for example, okay, you can argue too, it was too, it took you long enough or whatever, but there is a plan for the border. There is a plan for all of these things, and I saw a clip today. I think it might have been of her MSNBC interview where she actually talked about she said this was what we present the bill that we came up with. These were the exact things we were going to add and that we were going to do. We were going to get to prosecuting the transcontinental criminal, all these types of things. Like, she went into detail, and then she said, and then Trump killed it. So yeah, more of that, more of going into those details of what. Okay, so you're going to obviously, and as she said, continue with those plans if she gets elected, go through with that bipartisan bill and get that going to deal with that. So that essentially is her plan for the border. Let's see here. Yeah, she did mention also, taking on the fentanyl crisis that's coming across the border as well. Let's see. Keep America safe, secure, prosperous. Okay. Is ready to be commander-in-chief. She has helped restore American leadership and will strengthen our national security through her travels to 21 countries and meetings with more than 150 world leaders. Vice President has been a tireless and effective diplomat on the world stage. She has met with China's Xi Jinping, making clear she will always stand up for American interests in the face of China's threats. Traveled to the Indo-Pacific 4 times to advance our economic security and partnerships. She visited the Korean demilitarized zone to affirm our unwavering commitment to South Korea in the face of North Korean threats. 5 days before Russia attacked Ukraine, she met with President Zelensky to warn him about Russia's plans to invade and help mobilize a global response. And she has worked with our allies to ensure NATO is stronger than ever.
Speaking of that guy, just because you mentioned, he was here yesterday, I believe, once again, hat in hand, asking for more money, and of course he gets that. So there's another $8 billion out of thin air for you, bud. Congratulations. He's so happy every time he leaves here. I would be too. If I was a cokehead actor who became the president of a country, yeah, I'd be excited that a country was just giving me unlimited dollars.
Ronald Reagan? No, I mean, look, I do think, look, it's Ukraine and stuff. I'm hoping it's going to the right place, and that I think it is. I think they're,
it's going to them.
They're doing well. I mean, they probably would have been wiped off the face of the earth by now if it wasn't for the help of NATO and us, and it's. So I think, but that's the other thing too. What do you? It's such a weird
solution.
But it's such a weird stance. What is the solution? Is like, what, you're going to sit there? Like, again, I don't even think Trump, if he gets elected, is going to sit Putin down and go, pull out, motherfucker. Or what?
100%.
Or what?
Or what?
Putin's already said, I'll nuke you all. I don't care.
Well, yeah. Especially when we're giving.
I think what's happening
when we give long-range missiles that who was it? Was it a senator, a congressman? Shapiro, the one that was supposed to be pegged as her vice president, but she didn't pick because everybody said he was Jewish. I don't know why that matters, but okay.
Yeah,
Palestine and Israel, so yeah, that makes sense. But anyways, this guy just this week was signing missiles.
Right.
That are going to be landing on, German people. And hey, if that's the way you want to go, great. But when you, regardless of who's in the wrong here, okay? So Russia's in the wrong, okay?
Right.
When you are funding the opposition and saying, okay, we're aligning with this, we want this side, we're going to defend this side, fine. But now when you provide certain weapons that give that side the ability to strike deeper into the country and put Russian civilian lives, which are, they're just people living their lives,
Right.
in danger.
But they are Russian though, so it is no. Okay.
I mean, it just so I 100% expect a guy who sees that we're sending all this stuff to be like, listen, if you actually shoot them fucking missiles into the heart of my country, I'm probably going to use a nuclear weapon. Like, yeah, I'm probably going to take that seriously.
Yes,
I'm
but
probably
at
gonna
the
take that
same time,
seriously.
I think too. This has been happening for years and years and years within war, where countries support a smaller country. Whatever we do with
Sure.
Israel, right? Israel is constantly fighting Iran and Palestine and all these other. We're constantly giving them weapons. We do it with it, and other countries do it with each other too. It's kind of I think this unsaid, unspoken rule, if you will, or unspoken thing of like the conflict stays between the two. This conflict is between Russia and Ukraine.
This conflict
Sure,
we've chosen
that's
that's the
to
point. It's going to get
support.
to a point where when we really have to step in because of the fact that, see, here's the problem: is you have.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What does stepping in look like? Like again, you're going to sit down and tell Putin, "Hey, don't do it. Pull out." Like, what's he going to say? Okay, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Trump. My bad. I I did not
Listen,
know I was not supposed to attack.
The guy doesn't want nuclear war as much as anybody. Would he use it if he had to? Sure, I would think so. I would think so. But he's not dumb. He's not an idiot. Just because he comes from KGB and he's Russian doesn't mean he's absolutely just stupid.
The
He
dude
knows.
did give Tucker Carlson a completely incorrect history lesson of Russia.
How is it incorrect?
Of Russian history there. Like,
How is it incorrect?
He went off on like this whole list of things that was like,
Sure.
What Russia owned and conquered and all this other stuff. It was like a whole rewritten history of like.
Well, that's his justification. That's the same thing that's going on in Israel and Palestine. Same fucking thing. Keep arguing over land. So
but that doesn't mean it's right.
Doesn't mean it's right, but doesn't mean you should perpetuate it to keep going just because you want one side to overcome the other. So rather than trying to figure out a way to sign some sort of peace deal, stop the war, we're just going to keep sending supplies and money. So you perpetuate this war. Now, you know who this is good for? This is good for NATO. And it's good for NATO especially because Ukraine's in NATO now, which is another big thing that Putin didn't want. And what happens when you're in NATO? So when you're in NATO and your country is at war and your country gets absolutely decimated, NATO comes in with all their contractors from the U.S. government and they get to rebuild it. So they get all that money. So when people want wars to continue and when they say, yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we got to do to make sure the right side wins, it's just all about money. And who's getting rich off it? Halliburton, BlackRock, stuff like that. Well,
Sure.
People are dying on both sides. Nobody gives a fuck really about that.
I agree. I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying I agree with you. Like, it does need to end. It's just, for me, it's about what does that look like? You're dealing with a world dictator here and somebody who is not. What's up, Gray? Thanks for tuning in, checking this out.
Yeah, Gray.
But, you're dealing with a dictator here who's not really very negotiable. Like, he thinks of Trump as his buddy and his friend and that he'll be able to, still do so.
But nobody in this administration even tried to negotiate with the guy. Nobody even talked to him. The only thing that happened is like this statement said. They sent Kamala down there 5
Well,
I think tell Zelensky, hey man, we'll give you a ton of money because you're about to get invaded.
Well, I think it's the kind of thing is we don't negotiate with terrorists. You're going to go and invade a country and pull that stuff. Okay, you're not negotiating.
Well, no. We don't negotiate with terrorists when they attack here. It's not the same.
Yes, I know. But at the same time, I think of it as a little bit of the same because again, you're dealing with a world dictator here. So I think the kind of I'm not saying
dictator of Russia. That's all he is. He's not a world dictator. He doesn't run the world. He only runs the little part of the.
Oh, if he could, homeboy, if he could, Russia and him and his shirtless horse would be riding up and down all the countries if he could conquer it.
Listen, all I know is pigeons salute that man when he walks on the streets. So
pigeons in their helmets and uniforms.
Yeah, salute him.
No, I mean, look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I agree with you saying. I just think I think right now the idea is he's not negotiable and kind of. I think their thing is okay. Ukraine's not going to relent. NATO's not going to relent in supplying them and stuff. I think it's a waiting it out thing of hoping to God that at some point Putin goes, all right, well, fuck it, I give up. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know
Well,
if that. I don't think that's the necessarily right way to
well,
deal with it.
why would you think that he would do that though? Why would he give up if he's so adamant, like you're saying? Why would you give up?
Well, again, it's gonna because it's gonna get to a point where he already looks bad. He already looks, on the
Well, he
world
only
stage,
he looks bad. He looks bad to
and it's
us and
only
other people. He don't care. What does that matter to him?
into other countries. So wait, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna get to a point. It could get to a point where on the world stage, yeah, he already looks bad, but he's gonna look even worse when this goes on and on and on. You're trying to conquer a group of people and stuff, and completely overtake them and all that. Like, yeah, you're gonna get to a level where it's like you either give up or you're looking like the next Hitler here. Like what are you doing? Like,
Which is
and
why
maybe
there
he
needs to be
doesn't.
some sort of discussion somewhere. You have to come
And
up with something, whether it's a
right,
threat of violence or something. Whether it's either stop what you're doing, or show him a picture of his fucking palace in Russia, like he did
oh
with the fucking
god,
guy
oh
there.
god.
Do that. I'm sure that would work. Like
It
something
would either
has to be
work
done.
or it would backfire because again, I just don't. I think people have this misconception that Trump is going to stop him and he's going to listen to Trump or respect Trump. I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's like
I think it is. I think we have to give Trump the credit that if everybody wants to say he's such a maniacal maniac and a wacko and that, and everybody accused him the first time he got elected, well, he's going to get us into World War III and he's going to nuke everybody, which he never did or even got close to. Why wouldn't we want that type of
I
guy?
mean
Why wouldn't we want
he
crazy
did
to go up against crazy? You know
he
what? Fuck
did
it. I'll call your bluff, bud. I'll call your bluff. You want to launch a fucking missile? Guess what? Ours are going to be here before yours even launch. So like,
he did call what's his face Rocket Man.
he did. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you need that because you know what? Sometimes a dictator needs to see that, hey, this guy might be a little bit fucking crazier than I am. Because you know what he doesn't? Nobody wants to have a nuclear war. Nobody with nuclear weapons wants to have a nuclear war because that means it's the end.
I don't know
Nobody
if the
wants.
solution though is let's beat crazy with more crazy. I don't
Yeah,
know if
sometimes
that's
it is.
the
Sometimes it is. And if you're dealing with
overall.
somebody who you think specifically is non-negotiable at this point, that there's nothing that is going to get him to sign a peace treaty or anything like that, then fine. Somebody needs to go in here and say, look, dude, instead of sending fucking every money that we print over to Ukraine, we're going to drop off X amount of troops along with X amount of bombs right on your head. If you don't knock it off and we figure out something to sign here.
Sure.
At this
I
point,
just
what else can you do? You either keep funding a forever war again, where we're gonna spend another 20 years like fucking Iraq,
right.
fighting an endless fucking shit for no reason. Then you have now American lives getting killed over this bullshit. Something has to be done. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know. Trump
I
says
agree.
he's got one. He thinks he could do it. By all means, because you know what the other side isn't doing? They're not coming up with any solution. They're not even saying they have a solution. They're
I
not
agree.
even saying they want the war to stop. Just today, when he was there asking for his money and they talked at the UN and that, she's literally sitting there. Our continued commitment will never waver. We'll continue. Great. Great. So, like, again, we're just giving our wealth away. And again, just people are dying in the world. So,
I
as a
mean,
world superpower that the whole world turns to for an example, we should be trying to negotiate some sort of peace or ceasefire at least.
I
Not only
agree.
this, but Israel and Palestine as well.
We should be trying to figure something out, but again, I just don't know what that solution is. I think
No,
we're like, and again, I think Trump just coming in with his like, elect me, I'll fix it all. Let me tell you something: Palestine and Israel, they'll be fine.
hey,
Russia and Ukraine, they'll be fine. China's not gonna. Nobody's gonna touch us. We'll be fine. Everybody, like, what? But how? Like, what? You're gonna threaten? What are you gonna do? Like, um, yeah, and if we're doing the threats and stuff, I don't know that is always the best solution. Again, we have to think
I think
about
it
this
is though.
too, but we have to think about this too on the long term. Like, okay, so that shuts him down for a period, right? Like they talk about with what is it, Gaddafi or whatever his name is, right? He showed him the house or whatever, and was like, nobody did anything
Abdul.
for 4 years and stuff. Okay, well, we need to think on the long term. We're going to have different presidents and different people come in and different all these types of things. So cool, great. We stopped it with a threat for a little bit. How do we stop that from happening a little bit longer than that? And stop it from
that's why
having
you
each
signed,
president have to come in and go,
because
hey,
well, that's why
but
you need a long-term deal. You can't just keep supplying this in hopes that Ukraine. What we hope Ukraine wins, like
right,
that. You're not going to get anywhere with that. You're not. This will just continue on and on and on and on and on. But you still gotta find the middle ground. You gotta find the middle ground. You gotta, and you have to be able to talk to these people, and you have to be able to get them a room and talk to them together. And you know what? Again, yeah, things are going to change and different presidents, but that's why you sign a long treaty and a long agreement, and you hold them to it, or you sanction the shit out of them. Don't let them get no imports, nothing. We're not going to take any of your products, just like Trump did the last time. You want to keep fucking around, we'll just shut you down, and then no, you're no fun, and now you don't get nothing. Because in the end, like he wants whatever part of the fucking land he wants over there for whatever reason, because he thought it belonged to some fucking ancient ancestor or because it was Russia. Who gives a shit? At this point, I don't fucking care anymore. Honestly, I don't. I really don't. Either fucking find a way to stop it. Just find a way to stop it. That's my thing. Just find a way to stop
right,
it. Same thing with Israel and Palestine. I'm not gonna keep sitting here day after day, week after week, month after month, listening to the same bullshit, especially from the Democratic side, where it's just, well, we'll just keep helping and just keep funding.
yeah,
No, stop funding wars. Stop funding wars. Like, let's stop doing that. Let's stop funding death, is what we're
yes,
actually doing.
I do think, but at the same time too, right? It's fund that, or what more death comes of
Hmm.
Russia completely, going ballistic on them and taking them over. It's a weird thing, So especially for modern day to deal with such a kind of like you said, ancient thinking.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. So, whatever
but
deals need to be made here, people need to start seriously thinking about how to fucking make them rather than just, well, just send more
sure,
supplies and more
and
money
true,
and
yeah,
this and
yeah,
that. Like, that doesn't, we already been through that with Iraq. We did this already. Why? I don't understand why would people want to do it again and would want to vote for it again. Because you know what? Regardless of what his plan may or may not be, or even if he has one or doesn't, I'm more inclined to go with the guy that says, you know what? Hey, I can get this done. I think I really have a shot at getting this done. Over somebody who's just like, well, our support will never waver. Here's your blank
right,
check. Come back in a few more months and I'll give you more. Like, it's just so enraging because again, we have so many problems at home that this money could help ease, take care of, even alleviate some issues. But rather than
sure,
helping our own people and putting our people first, this is what we're doing. And this is why you have so many people that flock to Trump for that reason. Because he says he wants to put the country first. And
yeah,
that's a lot of people buy into that, whether they like him, hate him, might not like his policies, might agree more with Kamala's policies than they do with his. But it's that reason why he does get the attention he gets, why people do come to him and flock to him, and why this is such a close race. And they keep saying, well, we're going to win by a blue wave, the landslide's coming. No, he's actually projected he might actually win the popular vote. Could you imagine that? A Republican hasn't won a popular vote in years.
yeah.
Like,
That would be shocking. I would definitely be shocked
so would I.
if he
I'd
won
shit.
the popular.
I'd shit. I'd absolutely shit. Because then what would Democrats say next? Well, we got to get rid of that vote too?
Right? Yeah,
Can't have
exactly.
the popular or the electoral? But
Jesus.
democracy, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's so frustrating, and I don't know. It's just frustrating. Do we have any other comments from people talking either on X or in here? Let's get to some of these people.
I think so. I'm trying to also just go ahead and download that video you sent me
Oh, okay.
into
It shouldn't take you too long. It's only 10 seconds.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so I downloaded, but now it's not showing up in my videos for some.
Son of a bitch.
I know it's freaking. Oh, that's all right. It's Kamala Harris. But yeah, to everybody watching on X, thanks so much for checking us out on X. Make sure and check us out on the YouTube. We'll put the link in the chat and stuff. Let's see. We do have a comment here. Joe Pete Rudy has been disbarred. Kamala 2024. That's right.
Rudy Giuliani did get disbarred.
He did get disbarred. Homeboy.
Homeboy's done. He's out of there.
That's wild. That his whole thing is wild. But let's check out this this little video that you sent me here.
Oh yes, from Joe Biden's appearance on The View here.
Yes, Joe Biden decided to go on The View
and make one of the most damning statements I think he could have made in regard to Kamala so far.
Right. Okay. Let's see here.
There wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
Play that again, because you got to hear the very beginning just to make sure.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
So if there's not a single thing that she couldn't do that you could do, sir, this brings up the age-old question. Why haven't you done it in the last 3.5 years?
Sure,
if he delegated you all this power, why is it now taking you having to run for president for you to want to do all these things? Again, whoever sent him out there needs to be punished because that is, you know what I mean? That's a dumb strategy move, you know?
Yeah.
That would be like, that, you know, that would be like Trump having like, oh my God. Who would it be? Somebody as dumb as that? Like somebody that fucking stupid, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, just constantly like hosting every rally that he's at. Like she starts it, she just gets to ramble for like 10 minutes incoherently before the rally starts. Like it's a bad idea. Whoever, I think that was just a proof of life thing. Just he's still here. See, he was on TV. We promise he's alive.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look, I mean, at the same time. That is, you should have a vice president that is prepared and ready to do the job and do anything because you never know what happens. That's the point of a vice president and stuff. You know, so it just didn't come out right. And I agree. Like, it's hard. You say it like that. Well, okay. Well, you know, it took 3 years for that.
Doesn't take him off the hook by anything, though.
Right.
The same question I asked him. Well, for 3.5 years here, bud, you've been here. What are you doing?
Right. Exactly.
Wake up, Joe.
Yeah, that comment is. I just like I said. I just think it didn't come off right.
No, but but they threw him on The View to say that in front of millions of people that watch that because that's a lot of at-home white women watching The View.
True. Yeah.
Drinking wine at 11 a.m.
But at the same time, too, like I've noticed, like Trump supporters are starting to pull the same thing Dems are doing, all this stuff. Like that's kind of going to lead into our next topic here. But this whole thing of like they tried to go after Biden for putting on the Trump hat. And like there's the way, like if you look at when you watch the entire video of it, I actually gained a little bit of respect for him. I was like. Yeah, he's having fun. He's not like forget this rhetoric of it for a moment. It actually felt nice. It
changed your opinion to learn that he kept the hat.
No, God, no, he did not. If he did, he incinerated it.
He kept it. He took it on
the White House. Oh God, and then he incinerated it on the White House one.
Probably still wearing it. He doesn't know what's even going on.
It's a comfortable hat.
It looked nice.
But no, kind of leading into our next topic here, which is last week or so, I've been seeing a lot of videos and stuff from Trump rallies and Trump interviews and all this stuff, and it really seems like he is starting to, I don't know, like either lose it or just become desperate. He's leaning into a lot of, like strategies of, this whole, his rhetoric. I want to say in the last week or so has become worse. And now all of his friends are doing it too. Elon the other day, I had to go off on Elon on Twitter because Elon and me are good friends and we totally have debates back and forth on Twitter. He sees my stuff. I know he does. But no, the other day he tweeted something, and it was like freaking. Let's see here. Let me pull
it up. God damn it!
Let me pull up the damning tweet here. Where the hell is it? Cole liked it. I have to find Cole.
Cole liked it.
Let's see here.
He's got no opinion. He don't live here.
He don't live. Yeah.
He's an illegal.
Maybe you know what? Maybe he removed the tweet. I can't even. He's been doing that. Oh no! Here we go. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Unless Trump is elected, America will fall to tyranny. Trump must win. Elon Musk. On September 17th.
Sure. That is no different than
I
Democrats
said
saying. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said congratulations. You sound like every other extremist right-wing Republican for the last 30 years. Glad to see you're just like everyone else on the right. I mean, and Trump has been doing the same thing all week. Kamala wins. It's all, and it's funny, he goes after her for not having strategy or policies, but yet he's been starting to do the same thing that she does in interviews, where instead of going into detail about his policies or about his plans or directives or all that, I have an idea for a plan. I have a concept of. I've got these things.
Well, sure, for his health plan, yeah, he's just going to extend Obamacare. He's not
with the few other things too, he started to become very vague with the immigration thing. How are you gonna do it? We're just gonna deport 20,000 people, on a day. Okay, how? No details, no anything. We're gonna seal the border and stop the invasion. Great. How? As far as
the border. What do you mean how? By sealing the border.
Okay, so that's his thing. He's going to sign, I guess, an executive order, like you said.
Which Biden could have done at any time, by the way. Anytime.
I think you could, but at the same time, too, I don't,
It's
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know.
He signs executive orders. Executive orders have been around.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I have no issue with signing.
In Biden's first 100 days, when he was elected, in Biden's first 100 days, he signed 94. So it's. But again, when you have the power to do something and you don't do it willfully, but then pin it on the last guy and say, well, he's stopping us because he blocked our bill. Well, then go around him. Why the fuck would you let somebody stop you doing from what he did in his presidency? He didn't have to get a bill signed.
I think the issue is a little bit deeper than that. I know we want to go like, oh, it's simple. Let's just shut it down, or sign an executive order, or do this or do that. But now again, not everybody coming through Mexico is bad. Not everything, it needs to be seriously examined.
We don't need it right now.
Kamala did make a good point too in one of her MSNBC interview, that it was like, look, this she basically said what I just said. It's deeper than just that. Our immigration system is broken. It needs to be examined. It needs to be reworked. It is.
Well, yeah. You start by not letting illegals in. That's the first way.
Well, yeah. Yes. It's a weird thing.
Stop giving them preferential treatment over the people that are taking the actual pathway to citizenship. How about that? That would be a great way to start. So you shut down the border. You stop letting any immigrants in at the moment until you start taking care of
for how long?
Until you can start taking care of the people who have done it the right way.
Well, that can be. If that's the case, we know by the immigration process that's going to be years.
Hey, and
I think, and then I think that again, I think goes to show how many people don't realize, like, even if they're illegal and even if they're all this stuff, how much our economy and stuff does survive and thrive off of those people, off immigrants, and off of like we're a nation of immigrants. We're not
No.
just
Okay.
dependent on ourselves. Americans
Listen,
on themselves
are we immigrants?
lazy.
But we all came over here legally. There is a difference.
Eh.
There is a difference.
I mean, it was 1700s. We still did a bit of the
There is a
conquering
difference.
thing, you know.
And not only that, the immigration back then that we had, we needed people to build our roads, our buildings, our streets, our cities. There's a difference between immigrating people in to build up your country and immigrating people in to just fuck it up. And that's
Sure.
what we're doing.
Yeah, yes.
We're
Now,
not
yes,
doing
yes.
anything
Well,
to build up our country. Because, you
Right.
know, and we could take this right into the Haitian shit and that rhetoric, because I'll tie it all into that, okay? When you dump 20,000 people in a city of 60 that don't integrate, that don't speak English,
Sure.
that are
Yes.
getting licenses, that are getting 13,000 a month in food stamps and another 5,000 a month in cash, when you have poor people who can't even get that on food stamps or cash, you have vets who can't even get that.
Yeah, it was poorly designed,
Poorly.
poorly planned.
It's
Absolutely.
beyond poor.
Yeah,
All you had
absolutely.
to do-
And
all you've had to do for these last 3.5 years was download a fucking app. An
Right.
app to seek
Right.
asylum, get on a plane and get dumped in here. Get your cards, get your phone, get your hotel stay. Okay. Whatever they're putting into the economy, I guarantee you it's nothing compared to what they're draining out of it. Because
Yeah.
the hotel stays in New York City alone, I guarantee you, are more than what they're putting in their labor and taxes.
Well, yeah,
Not only
again,
that, but
it's poorly planned, and I'm not disagreeing with you on those things at all because yeah, it's poorly planned. Americans were affected in not a good way. At the same time, it was good intentions on us and stuff, but we didn't plan it well. We didn't right, and even the people of the government of Springfield says the issue is not these extremist crazy things that are happening, but yeah, we are dealing with that issue of 20,000 new people coming, all these types of things and all that, and not.
sure.
Having those, so yes, agreed. That absolutely needs to be examined. But that's also part of that immigration system that needs to be examined. And again, and I do want to address a couple comments here. Let's see, first of all, the Money Buddha.
Money butter.
But Money Buddha. Let's see, the economy does not survive and thrive off of those people. I never said they did. Well, okay, to a certain extent, yes, not in a whole, but as a large percent, absolutely. Absolutely. Immigrants and all again, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, Americans aren't the one taking jobs, in the fields and all that for the most part, unless you have Midwest farmers and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But a lot of it, over here, Southwest and all that, they're not the ones working at McDonald's. They're not the ones taking the jobs that Americans don't want. And those jobs are absolutely adding to the economy. If they're not bad people and they're not criminals or doing anything, they're coming here with good intentions. We need to figure out a way to make them part of our legal society so they only contribute to our economy even more than they already are and become actual members of society in that way.
Then all they got to do is come through legally, get properly vetted.
I agreed. Yes. Agreed. Yes. But as I've said, that system is broken in itself as well. And that's why we have this issues with all these loopholes and all of these things happening now, which are also wrong. They're hurting us. Let's see. We're not a nation of immigrants. We're a nation of white people using black people as slaves, which in the end became a nation of immigrants. I mean, it's not that, yes, white people came here. We integrated. Black people were here, Indians were here, Chinese, Irish, all these people started to come to them. Yes, we became known as a safe haven. French, all these people came here as a safe haven for freedom. We are a nation that said you can come here from wherever you are and seek freedom and seek being free. Worship who you want, work for what you want, make your own way, gather your own land, all these types of things. We are a nation of people. We are not native. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Money Buddha. Unfortunately, if I were to trace your genealogy all the way back, you are probably not a native unless you're American Indian, in which case I'm putting my foot in my mouth. But you're probably not native to America. A lot of us are, and even a lot of white people aren't necessarily native here to America, Irish or British or whatever, a lot of us are immigrants. We are a nation of immigrants. We thrive because we have opened our doors yes, we don't want to do it too much and do it to a detriment to hurt our people, but we thrive because we've opened our doors as a nation that says you can come here from wherever you want and make your own way. Even though it did start with making your own way as, killing a bunch of Native Americans and taking over the land, we still did it, okay? We made our own way. Let's see, you're just regurgitating bullshit that you've... Well, okay, as we've said before, the Money Buddha, if you're not new to the podcast, we're no experts here. We're just people that, do some research offline, talk, and have a conversation. We're nobody, that has all the answers. We're not political science majors or any of those things. So, yes, sometimes I do regurgitate bullshit that I hear on TV. But if I do, I try to look into it and make sure that it's bullshit that at least has some truth to it. The reason you feel so strongly about it is because you're Hispanic and they're Hispanic. I couldn't give two fucks if they were Hispanic, Asian, whatever. I don't care. I think our immigration system is broken either way. Do we have a relationship with Mexico that is also, in a sense, need some help and stuff? And yeah, they need a little. Talk about a little bit of a hard hand. Maybe they need some too, because they're a lot of criminals, a lot of gangs, a lot of stuff are coming from there. It's a big issue. At the same time, a lot of people over there are oppressed by those gangs and stuff. It has nothing to do that I feel like that because I'm Hispanic, I know a little bit of the history and what's going on over there. I'm a little bit knowledgeable in that. And so I have, I guess, maybe some more understanding of that situation. But yeah, it's a problem. I'm not saying, oh, they're Hispanic. Let them all in. Let them all in. God bless them. Let's see.
Well, the world does need more lawnmowers. We
do, exactly. You ain't seeing little Timmy out there mowing your lawn. It's little Jorge, okay? And we love little Jorge. Let's see here.
Yes. See, that I'll agree with you,
Immigrants did not build America. Black people did. Well, that's a whole other conversation. Yes, black people did absolutely contribute massively to the building of America and stuff. But even then, sir, I hate to tell you, black people weren't from America. They were brought here from other places.
Yeah, they got free cruises.
Which, you know what that makes them, Bob? Immigrants. Oh my God, invade! They didn't even come here willingly, and you're calling them invaders.
They invaded?
We like to have a little comedy every now and then.
Wouldn't that be called forced immigration? They really didn't want to go against their will. Really wasn't something they were looking forward to, I don't think. Maybe they were. Who knows how they sold it to them.
Forced immigration. That's going to be our dude. I love it. Let's see. Keyword in the fields. Those are slave jobs that black people used to do that they refuse to do now. Well, yes. And let's just be honest, like most minorities were used to doing those jobs in general. You still are. You still see a lot of black, Hispanic, and all this. Like, I don't think, but that's the thing too. That in itself has become a quote unquote stereotype that I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's become a bad thing because of how certain people say it and how there is a little bit of racism and how some people look at that. But for me and how I look at it, like, okay, like we like to use get our hands dirty and do like for a lot of, those people, they like that. They enjoy getting their hands. They enjoy doing that. Like, not everybody does. And so that's not looked at. I don't think that's a necessarily bad thing, but because it's stereotypical, it's become one now. Great. Let's see. I hear you. I also don't think that kids are bad people and kids can work hard, but I want rules followed regarding child labor. Exactly. I agree with that.
Yes.
Let's see here.
100% fair. Go ahead, read it.
Let's see. No, we don't need to figure out a way to make them a part of our legal society. That's the problem. Okay, so, and again, that's my thing. I don't.
Right
the solution.
I kind of fence right on this statement. I'm sort of in agreement, sort of not.
It's what me too. But it's not as simple as that. Like, it needs to be examined. I don't know how. I don't know what that process looks like. Each person, I think, needs to be looked at, examined. They need to, all that type of stuff. I don't know what. Again, what
Well,
does a mass deportation look like? What is that? We're putting them in
Well,
camps and holding centers and this and that, or how are we processing them? How are we all of this type of stuff? Are we rounding them out of homes in the middle of the night and some weird,
Well, I don't think
what
it's going
does
to be
that
too hard
look?
to find a lot of these people because a lot of them are put up in nice hotels in New York City, so you could clear those out pretty quickly.
Right.
There are a lot
Yeah,
of cities
those,
that
yeah.
have to have housing and stuff like that. It wouldn't be too hard to find these people, honestly. Honestly, it would be easy to track because a lot of them have benefit cards.
Right.
It wouldn't be that hard. So you just, especially with crime reports and stuff like that.
I
with
think
local
I think
authorities,
look, I think again, if you're examining them and you look at they've been working, they've been contributing to society, they've no crimes, maybe they have a family, maybe whatever, all these types of things. You're looking at you've examined the record and all that. Okay, again, you're contributing to society. You're doing all these things. Not a bad thing. Like, what are we?
No,
so how do
but
we
here-
help?
but here's
How
the-
do we help you now?
Okay. Well,
You've helped
here's
us.
the problem with this.
How do
and
we
this
help
is-
you with that transition into becoming a citizen?
Well, this is the problem, though. When you do it on such a mass scale like this, and when you give people who are coming here seeking asylum or whatever the case may be, or sneaking in, you give them money, you give them licenses, then you allow them to work. Then the next thing you do, final thing you do, is you allow them to vote. That's the issue. That's the big problem. Because realistically, if you want to talk election interference or buying votes, that's what Democrats do by giving open border policies, by giving people freebies. Because if I'm an immigrant who comes into the country, gets flown in, gets dropped off at Martha's Vineyard, gets a card with money for food and cash on it, gets a cell phone, gets a driver's license, even though I just got one. I didn't have to pass a driver's test. Get everything I need. Chances are I'm probably going to vote for the party that did that for me. I'm
Sure.
not gonna, yeah. So
Sure.
probably it's probably a good 100% chance that I'm going to do that. So that's where it becomes a real problem. And when you have these influx of people coming in, and you're dumping them in these cities, it's none of these the cities that are being impacted are having real problems. Whatever you want to say about in Springfield, they're eating the dogs. Whatever. Okay. Are they eating dogs, cats, and pigeons and birds and taking geese out of the fucking pond? I don't really know. Could they be? Yeah. Could they not be? Yeah. But you know what? It's pretty fucking crazy that somebody has to say something outlandish as that just to get small attention on the actual problem that's going on in these cities.
Right.
Okay?
I agree
So
with that.
while those remarks are outlandish, and while there is, I know a lawsuit's been filed against Trump and Vance in Ohio. Now let me make it clear that it was a non-for-profit Haitian fucking org that filed the lawsuit. Wasn't any of the people in Ohio themselves that said, "Hey, this guy's talking shit about us. Let's sue him." No.
Okay.
No, so let's get that straight right off the bat. So while everybody's like, "Oh, the Haitians are getting him," no, it's a guy because none of the Haitians there in Ohio actually speak fucking English, so they wouldn't know how to file a lawsuit if they wanted to. But there is a company doing it on their behest. But it just you're killing everyday Americans is what's happening, and you're
Right.
giving resources and stuff that can be used for the betterment of our people and our country. Again, I'm all for people coming in. Come in the legal way. If
Yes.
you want to make more legal pathways, I'm fine with that.
Yes.
But-
That's basically what I'm saying. That's what we
But
need to
here's
do.
the thing.
Examine that system and
Yes,
examine.
but
the
you have to
people that
when
are
you
here.
come in here, you have to assimilate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Whether you come,
Absolutely.
just listen. You left Haiti. Why? Because I'm going to be frank here. Because it's a fucking shithole and it's dangerous and you don't want to be there. But now,
Right.
when you get allowed to come in here, guess what? You can't act like you did in fucking Haiti.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the problem. Is none of these people are assimilated. Not the Haitians, not the Mexicans. Nobody. They're just coming in, taking advantage, not showing up for their court dates when they're supposed to go.
Well, I
to
wouldn't
their
say
asylum.
nobody. I mean, that would say 100% of the people. Like, I mean, sure, I'm sure there's a good portion and stuff, but at the same time, too, I don't know. I think you'd be very surprised. You talk to and you hear from a lot of those Haitian groups in Springfield and stuff. They're incredibly grateful, and you hear them go
Well,
like,
wouldn't
"I
you
wouldn't,
be?
I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I
Wouldn't
wouldn't
you
be
be?
here." But they talk, but no, they talk about, yeah, I want to learn the language. I want to learn these things. I want to take classes. I want to
Well,
take
then why are they
studies.
running
I
around
want to
Springfield
do these.
hitting everybody in cars because they don't want to learn how to fucking drive? Like,
Well,
you
okay,
can't
so
say they want to
yes,
learn and then
yes.
they're just doing the same shit.
Like you said, yeah, they need to get on that and stuff and all that. But again, like you're acting too like every one of them has the intention of I'm gonna get behind the wheel and kill somebody. Like, yeah, that's right. Like again, that's not always
Yes.
that's
I'm
sometimes
I'm going to
that's
blanket that
sometimes
and generalize it.
that's sometimes part of again the poor strategy that was used to the government and everybody should have thought about that. How are we going to get these guys licenses and driving classes and all these types of things instead of just bringing them over? Let's see. I do want to address a couple comments. Our chat is getting pretty lively here. 33 people watching on X. Thank you so much for checking out. Again, come check us out on YouTube. I don't know why StreamYard isn't letting me see the X comments here. Some destinations won't get comments. Learn more. I don't know why.
Damn it! I want to see the X comments.
I know. And it's weird. It did it the one time the night we went live for the debate. It did it. I don't know why.
Did it? You know, I wonder if I go on X while I'm on here and I look at the live stream.
It's so weird. It's so
if
weird.
I could see like the actual comments coming in.
It's so weird. Well, from what I see, there's only a couple. But yeah, if you're on it, come check us out on YouTube. Get in the comment section over here. We'll pull your comments up. We'll debate. We'll talk with you. Look, we try. It may get lively. Obviously, Bob and I have been getting a little lively and stuff, but it's all with respect and love, and we try to do the same thing in the comments here. So as long as you're respectful, we're going to be respectful back. Start to get a little out of control, we'll just roast the hell out of you because it's my show.
This isn't a thing where at the end of this we hate each other or anything like that. So you know, have your debates in the comments section, say what you want, but nobody needs to get wild and crazy here. Let's see, who did we have?
Let's see. Let's just address a couple of these. So I'm a good person. Let me come into your house and eat all your food because I'm a good person to you.
No.
Okay. Right. Initially, no. Right. At the same time, yes. That's kind of been our, it's a balance. I'm not going to fucking let you come in my house and take over and squat, do all these things, right? I may give you a little bit of a helping hand. I'll give you some food, send you to, I'll drive you to a shop. I'll do, I'll be friendly and do those types of things. But now we've gotten to this point, where I'm sorry, a section of far right people, are just like, fuck them. We don't need them. And I'm not going to help. Why should I help anybody? Why should I do any of these things? And it's that attitude, I think, that is extremely hurtful to America. Like, again, you got to give everything you have and stuff.
Well,
and no, look, not everybody is alike. Not everybody, thinks the same way. That's fine and all that.
Sure.
But you don't got to.
I don't think that's hurtful, though, to say that. To be honest with you, and the reason why is
I don't think it's hurt. I don't think it's hurtful, but I think it's it's got to be.
I don't think it makes us look any.
It's part of those blanket statements that I think are just starting to happen with the election. Because all these things
because people are fed up though, and people are at their wits' end. You have people constantly, especially in Springfield, going to these council meetings day after day and talking to these people and saying, "Look, there are issues. Nothing's happening. Nothing's being done." People are getting sick of it. So when people get to their edge, they're fuck them, send them away. Don't want them here anymore. Right. But you know what? While you may think that that reflects bad on us, guess what? If the president went on TV today and said, you know what, all you guys sending us all these shitty people, we don't want them anymore, your countries are crap, guess what? People from those countries would still want to come here. Here and would come here in a heartbeat. Okay? So to that part, that's what I say. To me, I don't think that reflects badly on us at all. I think we just got to do something to... And again, are there going to be good people coming in? Yeah, but most likely, I think they're probably going to be the ones that are coming in through legally, mostly.
Right.
Not all the time. I'm sure there's going to be instances where they have to come over illegally. Okay, fine. You just need to be sent back, and you need to wait in Mexico with your asylum until we figure out what to do with you and where to put you. That's how it should be. The stay in Mexico needs to be put back in place. But a lot of the people that are coming over aren't good. They're not. They're not. And when you have black people in Chicago, okay, black people in Chicago, gang members complaining about immigrants, it's a serious problem. When the
Yeah.
guys in a city who are constantly shooting each other are getting pissed about other people coming in, there's issues because these countries they're not sending for the three good
They're
people
not
good that they're
sending
sending.
their best, all
They're
right?
not.
They're
They
sending
really
their
aren't.
worst.
They're
They're
not.
sending the drugs and the rapists and the worst. I
Listen,
mean, look, again, I think it's about, I don't know what the percentage is. I don't know if there's any research or data to look into that. I would have to look
no,
into
but you could just look at what's going
I
on
mean,
to say, okay, there's
I
something
think,
wrong.
but again, I think there's a balance. I think that, yes, there are bad people coming into this country. There are people coming into this country that are contributing and that are looking to start a life here and do all those types of things. And it's on us that we've let everybody in and not been great on our immigration system and stuff, and that's something that we need to fix and that needs to be examined, and that will probably take years to face. I don't think closing the border for years is a solution. I think
Why
maybe
not?
for a time, but again, that's not, again, closing our borders and stuff is not, we thrive off of it. Even if it's tourism, even if it's this or that, like, it's not, not everybody's just coming
tourists
to
could still come over. Tourists could still come over the border. When you close the border,
So
you're closing it for, to make sure that there aren't people trying to get in illegally.
well, I don't know what Trump's closing of the border looks like. He's wanted to close the border before to everything,
Well,
and so like, I don't know. Let's see.
finishing the border wall that he wanted would be a nice start.
I saw a hilarious video of this dude just climb the wall. It's so easy to climb the wall.
Yes.
And it's because of the damn bars. I'm thinking, why didn't you just make a solid brick fucking wall? That you could, because it's so easy. You put two fucking legs on one bar, grab the middle bar, and just hump your way up there. Like,
well, there could be more to the rest of the wall, but we don't know because they stopped production on it, and the rest of it's just lying there in fucking piles. Maybe we'll probably see that tomorrow when she goes there to visit it for the first time in fucking 3 years.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's gonna go visit it. We'll have to report on that next time. So let's see here. No, we have not been known as a safe haven. Where are you getting this crap from? American history class. It's kind of known. I mean, that's what we were. Land of the free, home of the brave. Like what? I don't know what. Like, you can deny it and stuff, but that's just American history. Like, sounds like you went to an Ellis Island convention or something. Dear God, no. I'm not even gonna. Yes, I am native. My black. The original people that were created by God were black people. You, my friend, are the one that's not native. Okay, got it. I'm dealing with an extremist here. Gotcha. I'm dealing with an extremist who doesn't care about facts. They care about fiction. Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. We're not a nation of immigrants. I'm going to need you to. We're a nation of immigrants. 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 I actually am not an immigrant. My grandparents are immigrants. I am a second generation born here in America, but it's nice of you to assume. Yeah. Got it.
Immigrant.
Got it. Okay. So now I get it. This guy is an extremist. Obviously does not care about history or fact or science or any of this. It's all you read your Bible. Go read your Bible, Bradley. Yeah, Bradley. Go read your Bible. Okay. Then that's the kind of disappointing thing that about things like this is I'm all for having a conversation. I'm all for being willing to, even with somebody that has extremist points of view and stuff. But when you're sitting there completely unwilling to have that conversation back, or think that you are 100% right and not willing to have any room for fault, it's a one-sided conversation that's not going to go. I've had those before. You can believe what you want to believe and stuff, and nobody's going to stop that or take that away from you. There are facts, and there are American history, and there are things that we know happened, that have been documented, and all those types of things. But that's the thing. People have been so brainwashed into this extremist thinking that now you can't even fight them with fact. Again, like how can you say we are not a nation of immigrants? Like, Bob, even you, a white person, probably not native from America. If we were to trace back here, as we already learned, I think a little bit, like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, my family came from Italy and Sicily, so.
yeah, exactly. Whether it was from Sicily, France, Italy, Ireland, Mexico, Africa, Asia, we're a melting pot. That was the beauty of America in the 1900s, and it was written about and talked about. We're a melting pot. We're all of these different cultures and societies and peoples and all that brought together. Um, I don't know how you could even deny that. Like, that's, again, the way we did it, yeah, sure. Like, we killed a bunch of Native Americans and took over their land and did all that and, stuff. And not the perfect way to do it and stuff. But at the end of the day, our forefathers came here with a dream of being a land that everybody could come to, succeed in, and be free. Worship who you want to worship, work for who you want to work for, buy the land, own the land that you want to own. And while it's been twisted now in today's day and age and stuff, there was a time after we established and stuff where that's what we were. We were what our forefathers created. We were a melting pot of people in different cultures and societies, all coming here with one shared goal of freedom and just living your life in freedom. And so that's American history. That's the beauty of America. That's why America is so special. No other culture or society or anything like that has ever done something like this before. It was all segregated to people's groups and culture and all these types of things. We are the first of its kind. We're gonna have flaws and issues and all that stuff, but we're a dream come true at the same time. It's I'm very grateful for this nation. I think this is still the greatest nation in the world. Period. There are other great nations and stuff and all that, but I still believe that America is the greatest nation in the world, and I keep that. Especially coming from an immigrant family, coming from a country that is not, and knowing that other countries are not. I have a lot of appreciation and gratitude for this country, even at its worst moments. Yeah, that's my little statement on that. I'm sorry, Bob.
No, you're good. I'm going to read real quick, just because it was a little while ago, but I want to read from Twitter here. We did get a comment from
Sure.
Greg Broward.
Yes, please.
And Greg says, don't be fooled by the media. President Trump has proven time and again that he knows how to make America prosperous. Kamala Harris may talk a big game about helping average Americans, but her policies won't do anything to help. Stick with Trump for a better future. Thank you very much, Greg.
I mean, yeah, look, people have, the policies and things that they agree with. At the same time, I think the media fools people both ways. I don't think it's just for Kamala and stuff. I think, again, same with Trump. Trump's got a lot of explaining to do, too, on certain issues and things. Mm-hmm. Besides just the rhetoric or just the quick summarization of mass deportation again. And I'm not saying mass deportation is the wrong answer. I have never once said that. I need to know what that looks like before I say it's right or wrong. And so you come to me with a plan, and say, this is how I'm going to do it. Sure, then I'll give, but, mass people, all these things sound nice, but how? Just like with Kamala. And I'm starting to see Trump fall more into that over this last week or so. Just like Kamala has. Let's see. And that's a good statement that he's talking about assimilation. They're not assimilating. They're acting as if they're in a direct sabotage of America, trying to bring their country to America. I think some people do, yes, absolutely. You run into those people, you meet them. Yeah, you have some people that come here with an attitude or an ego and all that. And yeah, they need to be dealt with. They need to assimilate. They need to learn that that's not how this works and all that type of stuff. I completely agree with that. At the same time, I do think and you can see the interviews, see people. Again, I go back to, because Elon likes to say and tout that, don't listen to the media. X is the true news source, right? It's your most reliable news source that you're going to find out there, not that old fake media, legacy media, all that type of stuff. And then you have a bunch of people going and doing reports and meeting with these people, and you're finding a whole bunch of, deep cut things that go way beyond these accusations of, like, you're eating the cats and dogs and blah, blah, blah. Like, we brought up, there is the accident, and yes, people kind of turned, and it's been hostile ever since. There's been other things as well. And so it's much more than meets the eye in those situations. But I think for the, I wouldn't even say the majority, but I'd say a good percentage are probably just grateful to be here and looking to contribute and looking to not disturb or hurt anybody or do any of that type of things. Maybe they weren't given the best resources or tools, and if so, again, that's on us, on our poor strategy and planning. And that's got to be resolved. But people do need to assimilate, absolutely, not have an attitude or anything. But I can't sit here and say, especially with some of the things I've seen, that is 100% or even a majority of the people. Let's see. They're all bad. It's called illegal immigrants. It's a crime. Well, that's another thing we've brought up on another episode. You can check out where it is a civil crime, but it is not, like a criminal act or so. It's kind of
you're not getting thrown in jail. You just get thrown the fuck out. That's all.
It's kind of a toss up. Let's see. The land of the free, home of the brave. What's that got to do with letting illegal immigrants overrun your country? Again, people come here because we are a free country. Those are immigrants. Pay attention, buddy. You'll keep up, I promise. But again, keep up. Because I never said America was created in the 1900s. But when we started in 1776, you think everything was perfect? We still went through things, buddy. We had a whole 100 years after that with the Civil War, the Revolution, blah, blah, blah. I think you might have missed a couple basic American history classes there, bud. Some 5th grade shit. But moving on to our final topic here, and that what was our final topic? Jeez, I got so enamored in the comments tonight that oh yeah, the Haitians. The Haitians.
The Haitians and their lawsuit.
Yeah, so he's like, as you said, it was a .org, not the actual people, the Haitians and stuff. But from what I'm hearing, the people in Springfield and stuff are looking to figure out how to take some sort of legal action. With
I'm sure they are, but I don't think this is. I don't see this going anywhere. This sounds like, I don't know what they're.
Well, for me, the only thing that I can think of is defamation. I mean, yes, you have put a kind of a bad look on these people and all that and stuff. Even especially if it's not true, or even, here's the thing, even if it's a small minority and stuff, you can't group that, make that sort of a statement, group the entire group of people and expect them to not, get a reaction of hate or whatever from people in the area, people across, the country. Like, it's a weird position to put people in. And again, I'm not saying that, like, back when Trump was talking about the coronavirus and stuff, saying it didn't come from China. Yes, it did, but you got to be careful with your rhetoric and stuff, because we obviously know here in America, where you're free to be whoever you want to be. You know, there are racists out there that are gonna say they are gonna do all these things, take that as fuel and ammo, and do all these things. And so again, you just got to be very. And if he caused damage to these people, whether it was people lost jobs, whether it was people lost homes, people whatever, or harassment, all
they're
these
definitely not
things.
losing jobs because they don't. They're not. They
Right.
don't have any. They're not losing homes because they're paying people. They're paying landlords above rent and above market value for homes, which is actually taking homes away from the people that have been living there in that community for their whole life.
Right.
So, I mean, this is a real problem. But to stick with what's going on with the lawsuit here, from what I'm seeing and what I gather here, we have a leader of a nonprofit representing the Haitian community. Okay. He invoked what is called a private citizen right to file charges. And this was done this past Tuesday on Trump and Vance over what he calls the chaos and threats experienced by Springfield, Ohio, since Trump first spread claims about illegal immigrants there during a presidential debate. Let's see. It's the Haitian Bridge Alliance that made the move after an action by the local prosecutor who I don't know what he thought he was going to do. If the local prosecutor is going to do anything, I don't see how him filing a suit is going to do anything. But
Right.
it goes on to say in this article, charges brought by private citizens are rare but not unheard of in Ohio. Examples might be a grocery store charging a customer for a bounced check. State law requires a hearing to take place before the affidavit can move forward. As of Tuesday afternoon, nothing has been scheduled. Let's see, Trump and Vance, who is a senator from Ohio, are charged with disrupting public services, making false alarms, telecommunications harassment, aggravated menacing, and complicity. I don't know what they're complicit in, but okay. The filing asked the Clark County Municipal Court to affirm that there is probable cause and issue arrest warrants for Trump and Vance. Somebody goes on here, Cassandra, whoever she is, goes on to be quoted saying, their persistence and relentlessness, even in the face of the governor and mayor saying this is false, that shows intent, Cassandra said. It's knowing, willful flouting of criminal law. Ooh. So this group has filed a suit on behalf of the Haitian community there in Springfield. I mean, I don't see that really going anywhere. That's just another.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably going to go anywhere unless, very seriously, they bring forward evidence that, okay, those, like you said, they either, okay, well, the ones that do have jobs or whatever lost jobs because of it or whatever, there are certain things there, but it would have to be a group. It would have to be, I'm not sure that
this is somebody at a non-for-profit trying to fucking do something here, and it's whatever. Good luck to you, but I don't think that's really going anywhere.
Yeah. I had to bring up this comment. I thought it was funny. If America isn't a nation of immigrants, then how do you explain the fact that we stole every European or foreign food and custom to it in our society? Because that's what society was made up of. Exactly. How popular is ramen here in America? We got ramen shops now and ramen plates. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's that is true.
And yeah, but in 1770, since you didn't have enough, well, of course, in 1770 we hadn't explored all of America. It was still unexplored land. We were still migrating all the way to California and stuff. So, but what was stopping people from coming over? Like, again, it pretty much was open borders. So yes, we kind of did. And unless people were coming here to invade, like like Britain or whatever, like, we were going to fight back. Other than that, We had trades with other countries. We had this. We had that. We had a lot of very, very open policy. Um, but yeah. As far as the Haitians go, I think from what I've seen, a lot of investigative journalism has done is it's just kind of show that a lot of this just stems from stuff that has happened in the past and upsets about, again, some of the driving issues and things like that, which absolutely need to be taken care of. I don't think these people are intentionally getting behind the wheel and go, I'm going to kill somebody today, and so
No,
at
it's
the
not
same
that they're
time,
doing that.
they need to be taught how to drive and taught how to do, all that stuff. And
They need to learn how to assimilate. And that's why when you take legal immigration classes, you have to go to class and actually
Right.
learn
Right.
American
Yes, they
history.
should have been required to. But again, that was on us. Whatever the deal was that we made.
Well,
We
the
should
deal
have
was
absolutely had
the
to
deal
go
was
to
there was
those
20,000
classes.
people that needed to seek asylum. Can we take them? Yeah, I guess. Where do we put them? Let's throw them in Ohio.
Okay,
That's
right. So
literally what the deal was.
it needed to have been way more deep. Obviously, yeah, it's a mess up on us, and it's unfortunately the Haitian migrants are going to pay for it. But let's be honest, that was on us. Okay, if we're going to take them and we're going to accept taking them, they got to be required to go to class. We got to teach them how to drive. We got to find places for them. We got to do this. We got to do that. I mean, we can't just,
But we're
because
not
like you
doing
said, now it's affecting the people of Ohio and the citizens and all those types of things.
The only
And
thing
so-
we're doing is incentivizing people to come here with promises of free money. That's it. That's it. We're not asking them to do a goddamn thing. We don't need them to work and really, put it into the system because we're giving them free
Right.
food, free cash every month.
Well, I think at
Every
the
month.
same time too, they can only survive for so long on that. They're going to have to go
What do you
figure
mean?
it out.
It gets $3.
But again, that's
It's
not
free
the
up every
best.
month.
Yeah, but they can't survive on that forever.
You can't
Things are
survive
gonna
on $5,000 a month in food and $3,000 a month in fucking money.
Well,
You couldn't survive on that if you never had
Is
to
that how
spend
much
a
they're-
dollar. Yeah,
that's how much they're giving them, five
that's how much-
grand.
They're giving them a lot of money. Some people have reported that they have seen EBT receipts with balances of upwards to 15,000 in food stamps and 10,000 in cash.
But see, yeah, that's wrong. And again,
That's
that's something
beyond
that wasn't that again. This is on us in that I can't
Yes.
blame the Haitians for this. I really can't. It's on.
No,
we're the ones that said
no.
yes and said accept. And it was
Sure.
our poor strategy and our poor things and all,
Yes,
and now we're dealing with the repercussions of it. We're in this
Exactly.
now.
exactly. And the problem is you can't just leave them here and let them keep running amok. I'm sorry, you guys. You either got to go back and keep doing your wacky shit back where you came from, where that's a daily occurrence, and where that's how things go. Fine.
Well, okay, yeah, if they're doing, but again, there's not been much evidence of them doing that stuff too.
There hasn't been much evidence of them being any sort of positive effect on that community in Springfield. There
has been.
What?
Yes, I can pull up
What?
the videos of
What?
the places that have hired them and stuff where they go, they're some of our best workers. They're eager to come. They're some of the I can absolutely pull up this. And again, this is from all. I've decided purposely, so I could be wrong on this too, because I've kind of done a thing with that whole thing where I've decided to stay away from whatever the major news is saying about it. I'm kind of focusing a lot on investigative journalism. People, you have a lot of people both from X and YouTube and that are going out there interviewing residents and going around the town and doing all this.
And I haven't seen any of them say that they're so happy that the Haitian immigrants have come to their city. I haven't seen one interview.
I haven't seen any. Well, I have a couple. Number one, and number two, I've seen. Again, I've not seen where it's like, oh, I love that they're here and stuff. But the rhetoric is also weird because it's just in some cases just racist. And so I'm wondering why. Is it because of what happened with the school bus incident a year ago? Is it because of what is
But it's a daily
the root
occurrence.
cause
That's what it is.
of
It's been going on for years. That's the problem. When your community is
it's
overrun,
expanded, but it's expanded as significantly over the last year. That's where we're seeing.
They're a city of 60,000 people that got a quarter of their population dropped on them.
Right. And over the last year, it's gotten significantly worse of the rhetoric and the things that are coming out. If you have people saying this and that and blah, blah, blah.
But what about the
That's
people
what I'm
that live there whose lives have gotten significantly worse because of this?
Yes, and yes, some people absolutely because, and I have not denied that either. People, their lives have gotten worse because
Okay,
you have those
so because
immigrants
a
and all that.
guy
Yeah.
who owns a
But it's
factory
not. But it's not. But it's
says
not
that it's
because
great
hold
that a
on,
Haitian came because I could pay him less an hour and he'll never leave his workstation.
But that's not the thing either. They're not paying them less than that. Well, okay, and even if they are paying
They're
them
not
less
paying
an
them less an
hour,
hour. Come
they're
on.
still okay. Even if they are paying them less an hour, they're still
Mhm.
paying them the minimum wage. Yes, it's a
Okay, so they
competitive.
get $7.50 an hour.
It's a
Just fucking sit
competitive.
there.
It's a competitive business. But let's be honest. If we weren't the Haitian people, they were going to do it with somebody. The companies do that all the time. They do that all
Well,
the time. It's a
companies
competitive
do, yeah.
business. If they
Companies will
find
hire immigrants
somebody,
all the time
if they
because they
find
know they're
somebody
not
with
going to negotiate
experience
fucking.
that isn't going to argue about the pay or how much they're getting paid and do it or put on their form, I expect this. Yeah, they're going to start with the minimum wage, go from there. And so, like that's pretty normal.
That's not normal. No, I'm sorry. That's not putting. That's not putting your city, your people, or your country first. I'm sorry. That's not.
That at
It's
least
not.
from my experiences with businesses, that's how they operate.
Well,
Is
sure, because the
absolutely
business wants to
even
make a profit, so they want to get things at the cheapest. Because you know
sure
what you
if
don't have to offer these people? You don't have to offer them health care because they already get Medicaid. So there's
right.
another expense that he doesn't have to pay as a business owner. So of course, and again, property managers all over that city are happy. Why? Because these people have unlimited funds, so they'll buy a house well over market value for no problem. They'll pay double the rent because they can, which
Right.
forces families out of their homes. Which forces, because the guy will never leave his desk and work for $7.50 an hour, people out of jobs. Again, there is zero
Okay.
positive
I
coming
don't
out of
think so
this.
because at the same time too, I mean, let's be honest, and I think this goes back to kind of what I said earlier of Americans and our idea of work and all these types of things. Like, yes, I agree that at the end of the day, it's wrong. It's wrong because the Americans should have been looked over first, and all that type of stuff. Jobs are in this whole mess, yes. But for a second, let's pretend that that wasn't the case, right? And that it was done in a strategic way, and they came in and all that, and this was still happening, right? Because it probably still would be happening to a certain extent. Yes, again, it's
Well,
a competitive market. It's a competitive
no,
thing.
it's not going to happen as
People,
much if
people
we
with
don't.
experience and all that, it was absolutely will get overlooked for somebody that is still willing to work and do all that at a lesser pay. That's just something that goes across the board.
Sure. But again, it's one thing to do that for somebody who lives down the street. It's another thing to do that for somebody who just got dropped off here on a plane.
I
Who
agree.
doesn't live
And
here, who's never lived here, who's never been here, doesn't know our customs, doesn't even speak the language.
sure,
Not to mention the influx and the hardship that it puts on schools, because now you have an influx of kids. What do you think? They all came over here as adults? Fuck no. Schools don't have rooms for these people.
sure, yes,
There is. I'm sorry, but there is a net zero positive for dumping 20,000 Haitians in a community of 60,000.
I agree.
Zero.
Well,
Zero.
I
I
the way
don't
that
care
it
if the guy
happened,
gets to get his cheap labor. That's not a positive. That doesn't
the way,
help your community, doesn't help your city, doesn't help anybody.
the way that it happened, it was not absolutely. It's not the best way. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, with a strategy with things like that, I think it could be very beneficial. Absolutely.
I don't think so.
Um,
It could be because again, unless these people are assimilated, willing to learn.
well, again, that's what I'm saying with the plan and the strategy. Yeah, where we bring them in, they're going to classes, they're doing this. We're providing them. Let's say we're gonna provide you 8 months of housing and money and all this. That's gonna
Fuck
that's
no.
gonna that
Wait a
that's
minute.
hold on
Wait.
hold on.
Wait a
That's
minute. Wait a minute.
that's gonna provide you right. That's gonna get you that's gonna and you're gonna get and there's gonna be ways to get that check. Where you get that check by you're going to that class every week. Whatever it's teaching you American history and blah blah blah. You're doing your lessons. You're getting your driver's lessons. You're doing all these things. And this is typical even with a normal person coming from
Okay.
another country trying to. You have a job for about 3 months or so that is steady and shows that you're working steadily. You're not having issues
So if you have a
and
job,
these types of things.
how are they paying taxes?
Well, that's what
Social
okay. And
without a
again,
social security number, how do you pay taxes?
that's what I'm saying. Like there needed, there had to,
So
there
not only
obviously
that,
was
not
not
only
a
do you want to
good.
give them
There,
free money, but you want to
no,
give them a job on top of it for 8 months. I need to know how you explain this to the homeless
we're-
vet who lost both his limbs in a war, who can't get good health care, who can't get food or shelter or anything like that. That
I can't.
fucking
I can't
Joe Blow
because
from
that's
Haiti
something.
can come over here on a promise that I'll show up to class and get free money and
Because
free food. And
I
housing
can't
and a
because
job.
that's something with the vet thing that
So-
needs to be dealing. We're talking about this specific thing. We're going to bring
Exactly.
20,000 immigrants from another country.
if-
there needs to be a plan. And
But
yes,
if
whether
you
you
can't
like
fix
it or
your
not.
own home,
But
how do you
here's
expect to help other people if you can't help your own? That makes zero sense.
what
Zero.
they can't again. Obviously, they came here with no
Listen,
plan, and
is
they
it
just
our-
came
is it
with
our
no
fault that they were
jobs,
born in Haiti?
and now we're just giving them 5,000. So there's no win or lose. That's what I'm saying. There has to be some sort
It's
of
all
okay.
lost.
Those 8 months, right? You're proving that you can be a good American citizen. You're proving that you are going to get assimilated and that you're going to contribute to society.
Mhm.
You're proving all of these things, and after those 8 months, pass, you're taken off of the benefits that you have.
Sure.
Or if you've proven that you can't do that, you're sent back. All these types of things. Like, yes,
It all sounds nice,
if we're going to
but
do
now
that,
guess
we
what?
do
Now
have
you-
to give
now
them some
once
sort
again-
of benefit to doing it.
No,
to help them get started.
Whoa. Now I'm going to have a serious disagreement. You know what the benefit is? Is you get to fucking come in here. That's the benefit.
Okay. Yeah.
That is the benefit. There should be zero. You don't need to incentivize people to fucking come here. They want to come.
These
People
aren't,
want
but
to
this
come.
isn't a normal situation. Stay on this.
This
We're
is a-
talking about if we're gonna grab a 20,000 group of people from somewhere and bring them over as a way of asylum or whatever, blah blah blah. Whether it's there, Ukraine, whatever. That's what we're talking about. Getting a certain group, bringing them here. If that's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen, and it's already happened, and it
They
didn't
could go
work
to other
very well.
countries. Why don't these other countries take these Haitians?
I mean, again,
I wonder why that
they
is.
can,
Why
but
isn't
at
the
the
UK?
same
Why
time,
isn't
like,
Poland taking them? Why isn't Poland taking any immigrants? Let's ask that. Let's wonder why Poland hasn't taken any immigrants in since this whole crisis has begun. They have zero problems with immigration there. I wonder why that is.
Sure,
wonder
other
why-
countries.
I
do,
wonder
but
why
other
they're not having
countries
problems
aren't
like the
known-
UK with people running around killing fucking citizens there with knives and all sorts
Again,
of shit.
we've always been known as a sanctuary type country.
No.
As the French Revolution, what did we do? We went and helped the French because they helped us. We did.
Yes.
We help our
But
allies. We help.
But we didn't.
We
tell the
are.
country
We
of
are.
France
We're
come in
the-
here and take
No,
all our shit.
No, but a bunch of them sure did immigrate here. A bunch of them sure.
Yes.
And so that's the thing. We
Legally.
do take
Legally.
people- Yeah, back then. But again, there was a whole different process and time of doing that and all that. Like young
But it
country.
was still a
and
process
so-
that people still had to follow.
Yes, and that needs to
Okay.
be. But also, hold on. Okay, those people, these Haitian immigrants are here legally. They were brought here legally.
They
They
were
are
brought
here legally.
on a fucking technicality by signing up for an app.
They're
Dude, that
still
is
they
insane.
are still here legally. If we're gonna go
That
to
is-
technicalities, then that happens all the
Fine.
time in government.
They're here
We
legally,
can't
but they
criticize
have
Trump
been
for his
assimilated.
technicalities and tax credits and this and that and blah. People are always looking for a technicality. It worked. They got it. They're here legally.
Okay, they're here legally, but they're not benefiting anybody.
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say 100%. No, I wouldn't say.
I
that.
would say
Like,
I would say 100%. If
Yeah.
we could actually go to Springfield, Ohio, and talk to the people, not the fucking city officials who don't want this to be out there, not the fucking mayor who doesn't want to look like a complete fucking asshole. No, but the actual people on the ground, people that keep showing up.
Well, that's
every
what
week.
I've seen based off some of the videos. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking about the council, city
Okay.
council, and the. I'm
That's what
telling
you
you,
should be looking at
I've
is the
seen
city
videos
council of
of
people showing up and telling the council members we're begging for help and you guys aren't helping us.
Oh, and I mean, I'm not looking at the city at the electees, and all the. I'm looking at the people. I want to know what the people are saying and those
Yes.
types of things. And from what I'm seeing is that I would say there definitely is a group of going like they're out of control. They're doing this and blah blah blah. But a lot of it, I need to see that proof because I'm seeing more
What
people
proof
go.
do you need to see besides
I'm
car
s-
accidents and people fucking
Okay, the car
every
accident,
day?
and sure, yeah, you've got people that were maybe in a neighborhood that were where
I
they
don't know
did
what else you need to see,
integrate,
though. Like
where
that-
they did integrate and stuff, and that you got to be honest, more people were affected than others, I'm sure, because of wherever they put them or whatever areas and all these types of things. Like, I
Martha's
don't know
Vineyard
the
couldn't handle
details, but
40 of them. Couldn't handle 40. Guess what? They were gone in a day. In
Again.
a day.
Well, yeah, Martha's Vineyard. That's the fucking.
What difference does it make where it is? They couldn't handle 40 extra people coming onto their small little fucking area. Why? Because the 40 people that showed up were very fucking disruptive. Again, people that don't speak a language, that come from a country where it's rampantly run, where there's nothing but crazy shit going on, when they come here, that's what they bring here. When
I
you
agree. They need
allow
to be.
them to
Yeah,
come
they
in,
need to be assimilated and all that.
so
I'm
you
not
can't
saying
say
all
that
that,
a
but
culture that is doing certain things a certain way is just going to come over here, and the minute they get here, oh shit, well we got to change our ways. No, 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 no. That's
I'm
not
not
what's
saying.
happening. What is happening with this entire immigration thing is that instead of them assimilating to us, we're assimilating to them. In
I
Chicago, they have to hear the fucking Allah fucking whatever Hebrew fucking prayer 5 times a fucking day. That's got to be rung out.
Stop.
Stop.
What?
You think that? Wait a minute. You think that's okay?
Who cares?
Who cares?
First
Where
of
do you?
all, first of
Wait,
all,
where
first
do
of all,
we live?
first of all, let's talk about the details of that.
Wait a minute.
The ones,
Wait.
the ones that are
Let's
hold
talk
on,
about the details of that.
the things that are playing the
Mm-hmm.
call to prayer are mosques.
Okay.
It's not like it's happening throughout the city. It's not like the city government is endorsing it. These guys, it's a mosque. They have every, just like as a church has every right to play worship music in front of their whatever.
Sure. But you know
They're
what? Where
doing
do you
their
see
thing.
churches that blast out music that could be heard around the whole city? I have mosques here in
All
my
the
city.
fucking time. Let me tell you
Really?
about a little church called Bethel and a man named Sean Fewitt. I can't pronounce his last name, but let me tell you something. All the time, as somebody that comes from that culture and stuff, it's you may not hear it. Even right now, as we speak, there's an event that's going to happen here in Las Vegas called the Roar. 100,000 Christians and worshipers and all that meeting at Allegiant, the biggest stadium here in Las Vegas. This happens all the time. They do
That's
it
at a
out in
stadium.
they
That
do
they
okay.
rent
They do
out.
it. They do it out in the parks. They do it out in big cities. This happens all the freaking time.
No,
All
no,
the
no,
time
no.
that churches do.
No.
Yeah, no,
No.
yes.
City's not blaring call to
Yes, yes.
prayers. I'm
This
sorry.
is
Sorry.
the city.
Sorry.
No. The city isn't. You're right. The city is not calling Blair, or calling for prayer and all that. The churches are. The mosques have. The Christian churches have, and all that. This is
I've been a
not.
Christian. I've been a Christian my entire life.
I
There's never been any church at 5 times a random day playing fucking music. The only thing I've ever heard come out of a church are bells at every hour. That is it, sir.
It's still again. What is all they're doing is again. You're acting
Okay,
like the city is endorsing this,
because
and it's a
yes, they
bad
are.
thing because
When
Christians
you
aren't
allow it,
getting
you're
the thing.
endorsing it. When you allow it, you're
Okay, so
endorsing it.
when the church
Let me
decides
ask
to
you this.
have out in their front parking lot a worship service, or they decide to go out to a park, which happens all the time, have a worship service and gathering, or they decide to go anyway, like because this happens all the time. You may not be aware of it, but I guarantee if you were just to look at the churches in your area and look up events happening and stuff, you'll find something you'll find something at a park, outside and stuff
How is that
in
an event?
in a public area.
How is a
That is
call?
That
How
is
is a call to
endorsed
prayer
by
an
the
event?
church. You can't say it's endorsed by the state.
How is a Quran prayer an event? How is that an event?
How's what?
How is the call to prayer an event?
That's what. What do you mean? How is that an event? Everybody
How
does
is that
like.
an event? You're saying, well, somebody goes outside sometime to have a prayer service outside. Okay, that's fine. They're praying. They get up and they leave. You have people who have to stop whatever they're doing 5 times a day to throw a fucking rug down and face a certain direction.
Right. That's
Fucking pray.
their.
Good
That's
for
their.
them.
Right.
That's great. But you know what? Not everybody wants to deal with that. You have to understand. Just because we're the land of the free, I mean, we want all these people. You can't just make people accept all this shit. And you know
I
what? It
I
gets to a point
completely agree.
where people are tired of it. And guess what? The point is now. Because if
But
you
if you
or
do
me,
the
wait,
research,
hang on. If you or me go to any of these countries, if we went to fucking Haiti, if we got immigrated there, or we got immigrated over to fucking Saudi Arabia, and we said, well, I'm coming in here and I'm going to do things the American way, you think they're going to allow that? If you set up your church and you started doing Christian prayers 5 times a day, you think they'd allow that? Yeah, we do. So we're going to be tolerant of their shit, and we're going to just, okay, well, we'll work around them instead of the way it's supposed to be. When you come here, you're coming here because you want to be an actual American. Not because, and that doesn't mean that you have to convert your religion. No, but not everybody in the whole fucking whim of the world has to bow down to what your belief
Not
system
everybody
is.
wants to hear about Christianity too, but we're still called by most Christians a Christian nation. I mean, so
Because
let's be
that's
honest.
how that's how the
We
nation
took
was
it out
born,
of the
was it not?
sports. We were born off Christian principles. Yes, we used the
Yes,
Ten
so that
Commandments
makes
in the
us a
Bible
Christian
as
nation.
we were yes, we used Christian, but even our Christian forefathers knew and did not want that to be the definitive. Like, yes, don't kill don't murder, don't steal, don't the basic kind of living for life principles, right? That we used to do all that. But you still could come here and worship anybody you wanted, anything you
Yes.
want. That was the whole thing.
Yes.
And at the same time, let's be honest. Like, again, this is very weird because you guys, people are acting like a mosque on property that they fucking own. Plain, it's called a prayer. Is like a big deal now. It's again property they own. You don't like it, roll up
But
your
it's not just
windows,
being
drive
played
by.
on, but that's the problem.
You don't got to stop and pull out your bat and prayer and do the whole thing. Guess what?
No,
Just
but you
like
have to
when you
hear that
drive
shit.
by, just like
You
when
have
you
to
drive
hear
by
that
a
shit.
church and you hear the service
What do you
going
hear
on.
when you drive by a church? If you drive by a church, you're not hearing anything going on inside, sir. Come on.
I can tell you what.
What kind of
At
example
least
is
from
that?
my experience
I want to
growing
know what
up in
churches
the
you're going
church,
to. What are you going to? Like,
I went to mega churches. Absolutely, they're constantly doing outreaches. They're constantly trying to get involved
yeah,
with the city.
that's
They're
not the
constantly
same.
absolutely. So yeah, and even local churches or smaller churches as well. I have been involved in these things. You can believe it or not. I'm
It's not
telling
that I
you,
don't
where we go
believe, but
out in
it's
public.
not the same.
We used
It's
to, you
not
know
the
what we
same.
used to do? We
But
used
it's
to
not
go
the
out in
same.
public and just start praying for people on the Las Vegas Strip. And
But
just
it's
ask, hey, you
not
want to pray? You do
the
this and all that.
same.
Oh,
It's not the same
how
thing.
is it not the same? You're telling me somebody that's not a Christian, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to see that. They don't want
No,
to,
they
and
don't.
that's fine. They don't have to interact with it. Just like those same people
There you
that
go.
don't
Wait, wait,
want
wait,
to,
wait, wait.
just
You
like
just
those
said
same
it.
people
Wait,
don't want
you
to
just
hear
said
the
it.
mosque music or don't have to go onto the
Let me ask you.
property of
How
the
do you avoid
church
the
that
mosque
they have
music when
paid
it's
for
being
that
blared
property.
around the whole city? How do you
It's
avoid it
not
when it's being
being
blared?
blared around the whole city.
What
That
do you
is
think?
utter bullshit.
Wait, you think
That
there's
is
one
utter
mosque in the whole city of Chicago? You think there's one mosque?
so that
One.
one mosque in the whole city has a speaker loud enough
No,
that
no.
it's going across the whole city.
I'm asking you. You think there's only one mosque in the city of Chicago?
I probably not.
Okay.
So those
Again, if
mosques
multiple
all
mosques are
combined,
doing it over loudspeakers, because they're not just doing it inside. You
it's
think they're doing
overtaking the entire city. All the traffic noise, it is so loud that you're sitting in your home and now you're like, God damn it, the Muslims are playing their music again. I gotta listen to that. Like, come on. Come on. I've done the research on this. I've looked into it very, very detailed because I'm a Christian too. I'm 100% Christian. I believe in all that. These people still have the right to worship and do what they want to do on their property. And that's exactly what they are doing. They're doing it on their property. They are doing it exactly the way that they should be doing it. And I've seen it. I would be defending the Christian church if they were out there on their front, which again happens all the time, whether it's reconstruction of inside the church or where they hold their services outside and the public can hear it when you're driving by or whatever. They have that same right. This is now we're picking and choosing that. Oh,
No, because I would say the same thing. If they were blasting, if every church 5 times a day at the same time every day was blasting music and all around at the same time 5 times, I'd be saying the same thing. Because the fact that not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants to hear that shit.
Again, same can be said for
That's what I'm talking
Christianity,
about.
and yet
I'm
you
talking
have
about Christianity.
politicians.
I'm talking about Christianity.
You have politicians coming out and say, yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying, again, I'm seeing it far more intrusive on Christianity's side than this.
Christianity right now is one of the most persecuted religions in the world right now. How is it more intrusive on their side? How? You can put your hand on your head all you want.
Hold on. Yes.
Please go ahead. Tell me how they're not. Tell me how they're not.
So this actually kind of works for
You've only been sitting on this show just bashing Christianity the whole time. But please,
let me tell you something. As a Christian,
doesn't matter if you're a Christian or not. But I'm
at
just
the
saying,
same time, you did set me up for a little self promo here. I have to go Rosales style. God damn it. So a little self promo here. So with all of this religious talk conversation, This is something I like to have a lot on the channel and stuff. We will be having a special announcement next Wednesday. This is probably our biggest interview of the channel yet. I am very excited for. It's a group called, you can find them on YouTube, the New Evangelicals. Tim Whitaker is the creator, and he started the whole movement. Or not, sorry, he didn't start the whole movement, my bad. But he started this channel of really kind of deconstructing Christianity, really looking into the historical side of it, balancing all these different types of things. As a Christian, we're very much taught to believe the Bible's inerrant and all these different things, and just kind of believe what it says. And it's a lot more than that. And I've been kind of studying it and doing it for years. I've been a Christian my whole life. Was raised very conservative. The fact that I'm here today, even more liberal than anything, is very interesting because I was raised conservative and had conservative beliefs, like extreme conservative beliefs most of my life and stuff.
You'll get back again when you grow up. Don't
worry. Right? Hey, fuck you! I'm 30 years old. Goddamn it!
You gotta hit mid-30s before the Republican really kicks in.
Before the Republican really. That was. But yeah, so make sure, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, we'll be next Wednesday is a conversation with Tim Whitaker of the New Evangelicals. We're going to be talking about his whole deconstruction of Christianity. We're going to be talking about Trump nationalism, all these types of things. So it's going to be a great talk. But with that, leading back into our conversation here, is that look, I think for the most part, that okay, I kind of got a little lost there. What was your initial question?
Yep, to get you back, because I said that. I said
my bad.
Right
I'm
now,
sorry.
No.
It just worked so well with the. I was just like,
it was good. It was a good segue. I think it was fine. Okay. But I stated my statement I made that made your face palm was
right. Yes.
Currently, right
Christians
now,
are the most persecuted people. Okay.
I would put that out there. That is
the reason. So let me tell you,
I would just say the Christian in general, the group of Christianity itself.
I dealt with this. It's so funny. My mom said that literally like the other day. Mm-hmm. My mom is very, very extreme. I wouldn't put you in the same category, but I mean, she's very extremist Christian.
Let me be more specific than in my statement. Then.
Right. Okay.
Christianity is the most persecuted religion in the U.S.
Yeah, I think it really. I think this is my issue with that. It really depends how you define persecution.
Well,
no, you don't have people here in the U.S. like in China who cannot have where they are having underground church services because the government does not allow them.
Yeah, no,
we are not like Iran. Our persecution here is nothing compared to persecution in other countries, compared to persecution in the Bible, compared to, I mean, like, we're talking people being tortured, killed, massacred for their faith. That does not happen here in America.
That doesn't happen here.
And so, okay, and even then, like you brought up, okay, we were founded on Christian principles and all of these things. Like, to a certain extent, yes, Christianity is within the culture and society of America. But even our forefathers knew and didn't want that to overtake this and be this kind of overall thing of you got to be Christian. We have Christian principles, like I said, which are principles of pretty much all cultures and all normal cultured societies. Don't steal, don't murder, don't do these types of things.
That's what our moral compass was built on.
Right. And so I have
one because of that.
I have a real issue with that word persecution, especially being here. Like,
all right,
we are
Would it make
so
you feel
blessed.
better if I said Christianity was the most hated religion in America?
I wouldn't even say that. I mean, look, you have people, and some of these people are Christians that they hate Islam, they hate Muslims, they hate all of these. And I'm talking a true nature of hatred. Because of
and then those religions they hate also hate our religions. So it goes both ways
to a certain extent. I mean,
to a certain extent.
but see,
Come
that's the
on now.
thing.
What are you downplaying
Neither
here?
of them
What
are
are you
right
downplaying?
because both of them are at this point are not even going with what their texts or what their religions are saying. Like it's an extremist version of both. Both say to love your neighbor, not like there's gonna be people you disagree with and all that
Okay.
type. Like it's all turned
Well,
into this extremist
I'll give you
rhetoric
I'll
on
give a
both
real world
sides.
example to try and make my point here.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the Coca-Cola thing going on right now, where you
Yeah.
can make your own label.
Oh! I went on there this morning to prepare for the show. I did some things. Yes. Let's talk. Yeah.
So did you tell it you wanted to love
Okay.
Jesus
So I did the I love Jesus.
and did it
So it
left?
was weird. It was weird. If you just put Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
it works. It'll let you do Jesus.
Yes.
But
if you put
I
it
love
won't.
Jesus, it won't let you. If you put I love Satan, it'll let you put I
No.
love Satan.
So
And yeah,
I think that gives
but
a
that is
little credence to my position. That kind of
okay.
proves my point a little bit.
You're not wrong, but again, like you can't assume that one company doing that and looking at that and like again, and this is I'm shocked. Like somebody has
That's just one
this is
company.
I'm shocked somebody has not taken a lawsuit to Coca-Cola or done anything because like
Well, you can't.
this
I mean,
is
you can't sue over that.
this is yes, absolutely, this is discriminatory. It's
Yeah, I guess.
discriminatory. You are discriminating against a group of people. You're saying obviously you can say I love Satan, you can say I love Muhammad, but you can't say I love
Allah.
Jesus.
Exactly.
And so we're literally at that point discriminating, and that is now that I agree with you. That is very weird. I've never seen anything like that. That is very just kind of like it's almost shocking that again a massive company like Coke would not fix this immediately because it's an obvious lawsuit.
It makes perfect sense because of my thinking. Because you got to look at how religion has been, especially Christianity, is slowly phasing out of this country. Slowly phasing out. Nobody really.
Trump is making sure that's not happening.
Well, it shouldn't happen because I do believe that
it's
some
not.
religions
It's not fading out in any way, shape, or form.
It sort of is. When you take it out of a lot of things that it used to be in, yeah, that's phasing it out.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you take it out of schools so you don't give kids a chance to learn any sort of religion.
So we took it out of schools in the 60s, so that was like way back when and stuff. And that was, yeah, I agree. We don't need to have Christian prayer in schools.
Why not? Our Christians don't go to schools. But see, here's the problem.
Do we need to hold on? Do we need to have the Muslim prayer in schools? Do we need to have
Muslim prayer in schools? They can't say that you. They can't say that you can't do your prayer, your Muslim prayer in schools.
It's wrong.
Like you said, it's like Coca-Cola. It's discriminatory.
Yeah, you should not be able to. If one can't do it, you should. And I agree. Yeah, I don't want. Look, if I'm going to send my kid to a public school, right, even as a Christian, I don't want them being with religions or anything. So my Christianity shouldn't be there. No other religion should be there. No, they're there to learn history, American history, world history. They're there to learn. How to get
to be the problem, and that's why I'm saying it's being phased out because you'll
take
that out of the schools, but you'll allow all the other religions to stay.
But not necessarily, because I do know for a fact that schools are allowed to. They do have after-school Bible clubs and stuff. Kids are allowed to create that. Muslim kids are allowed to create their things, and I could be wrong. Sure, I don't unless it is like a Muslim private school. I don't know of any public schools that are going. We're going to do any other religious prayer or creed or anything apart from the American flag or the American Pledge of Allegiance.
They don't even do the Pledge of Allegiance in school anymore, sir.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, like this is what I mean. This all leads to the downfall of this country. When you start taking the things that were cornerstones and building blocks and things that the forefathers built this country off of, when you start removing that and you allow other elements to come in and replace our foundational systems, our foundational beliefs, our foundational way of life.
But but that's what I'm saying. What religions and cultures are doing that? Are taking over, like, and again, like, even like we talked about, the Christian principles that we were founded on are pretty much principles that are looked at and agreed upon across society.
Are they?
don't kill, don't steal, don't
So
murder,
people don't murder.
work for your.
People don't steal.
Sure, they do and stuff, but again, like, okay, those rules and like even to say that those rules are exclusively Christian, I think is a little bit. Those
No.
rules go across most religions and societies and cultures that say this is right and this is wrong.
Not really. In the Quran, it allows you to kill certain people as long as they're infidels.
And the what?
As long as they're infidels, you could kill people.
Where?
In the Quran.
Well, okay, well, again, yeah, and in the Bible, you can go out and stone a woman for wearing wool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have to, again, people take things out of context and go, okay, you know why those things were said in the Quran and the Bible and those types of things? It's a history lesson. This is what society was like before these cultures and religions' saviors, right? These are before savior and salvation came into the mix, right? There were things that, very strict rules and sacrifices and atonements and all these different things that happened that salvation got rid of. But they're there to show you the historical. This is how salvation was achieved before a Christ figure, Muhammad or whatever. Like, it's history. But taken out of context, of course, you can say the same thing with a whole bunch of stuff in the Bible where they're just massacring people and women, children, and all this type of stuff and all that. They're not saying that it's right. The Bible isn't saying that this is the right way to do. They're saying this was the way of life for this society and this culture before a savior came involved. And that's what it is. You can't take it out of context and then expect it to work all the time. Like, you have to study it and look into it. And again, you can pull that for all the religions. Okay, let's see. The chat is good. He says, yeah, fuck, shit. But yeah, no, I mean, as far as like religion goes and stuff, unless it's a private school or institution.
I think I would still stick by my claim, though, that right now Christianity it's just being phased out. People don't want to hear about it.
I wouldn't say it's getting I mean, but again, too, look, I think it's all about. So I follow a lot of like Christian things and not even stuff that I necessarily agree. I just like to be in the know of what's going on in Christian culture, and they're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. If anything,
are you looking at it from a mega church point of view, where you're in Vegas, so everything you got there's like a fucking cathedral, a stadium for a church. Like, that's not the whole country isn't like that.
Well, no, not the whole country, but at the same time, like, you look at there's still, you don't have to look at all the mega churches and stuff, and little churches too, and you have they're doing fine, and it's their main thing for the most part, like it always has been the gays shouldn't have their rights, and abortion should be illegal, and it's the stuff of old as time, which again, even as a Christian, even growing up, stood out to me as very weird, because that's my religion, that's what I believe, right? Or what I was taught to believe, whatever. Like, I can't impose that on a free country that I live in. It's not everybody is going to agree and believe those same things. And so to make those certain things law is, it doesn't seem right to me, even as a Christian. That always seemed off.
I guess a litmus test would be to go into a public park with a boombox, sit down.
I'll do it.
And play Christian music.
Absolutely.
Kind of response to it, and then play a fucking call.
I already know a church that does it. My old church, Mountain. They do it all the time. They go out to Lone Mountain Park. They take a boombox. They take a grill. They start worshiping, praying. The kids are playing in the field. They're speaking in tongues and prophesying over each other and stuff. All the time. All the time. All the time. I can tell you, during COVID,
I think I'm with my mother on this. Actually,
I can tell you during COVID, that Bethel guy, Sean Fruit, right, literally went to almost every city in America to defy the COVID regulations and rules, and hold public worship meetings in parks. You can look this up. So
unconstitutional to
This
tell a church that you can't operate.
I think for the most part, yes, but under the circumstances of a pandemic,
Doesn't matter.
you'll get over it. They'll get over it.
Yeah.
Poor
Hey.
churches were just mad they didn't have the congregation come in and fill their buckets up with.
I didn't see anybody
with
telling the
cash.
mosque to shut down.
They did. Every church, I did. I sure did. Every public
Mhm.
gathering that was a church, Christian, non-church, or whatever, Seventh-day Adventist, all that, I saw them all. Everybody was instructed. You cannot do public gatherings like that. It's just not going to happen right now. And then remember at that time, everybody, this is it. The persecution. It's the end. They're taking away our churches and our rights. And if you look at today, we're right back to where we were right before. Everybody's in church. Everybody's doing their thing. No rights were taken away forever. It wasn't the end of the world. Christians love to scream persecution because the Bible says you're going to be persecuted. And yeah, Christians do endure persecution, but boy, do we love to scream it at the first chance that we get. And I think it's not the way. Let's see. I haven't even, to be honest, looked into this conversation that's happening in our chat.
Yeah, I don't even know. My brain's getting on the melty time.
Bradley and the Money Buddha are going at it.
They're having a good time in there.
I will just say this: the Money Buddha. You seem like obviously a very Christian person, somebody, and that's fine and all that. However, what I seem to coming to a lot of issue with Christians and people that believe is that, look, there is fact and history and things that we know and historical stuff and all that, and then there's what the Bible says. And as I said earlier, most Christians are taught that the Bible is inerrant. I don't believe that's true. I think the Bible does have things that are wrong in it, and that it is not. I don't think that impacts its message or that it impacts what the Bible is. The Bible is still the inspired word of God and stuff. And I think our human nature gets in the way of going, oh, well, if it's not all true, then it can't, nothing can be true. So, I would just implore you to be open to having things questioned, be open to even being wrong of stuff that you may believe.
Austin's been wrong this whole stream, and he handles it just fine.
Listen. You got one on me, but listen, I got 3 episodes of right now. No, like
wrong.
Let me tell you, Ron, it's just the worst thing I've ever heard. Okay, Helen Keller would be so disappointed. And no, it's weird because obviously like you said, yes, I criticize Christianity a lot and stuff, but I think I do it from a point of view that as somebody who is a Christian and grew up in that culture and stuff, it's important to me. I think there is absolutely something happening within the Christian movement and church right now that is more scary than, to me, anything than what's happening in the election or with America. And it's just this idea of these pastors and people coming out and saying things and their words being taken as gospel. Trump has, for a lot of Christians, become the new Christ figure. I just saw a phenomenal video. I'm gonna pull it up. Because a little self promo here, because we'll be talking about it next Wednesday with Tim from the New Evangelicals. And God damn it, Bradley! I'm signed out of Twitter because he changed my password earlier this week.
Why would you do such a thing, Brad?
I know, literally. What a piece of crap. This is why. Don't date, people. Don't date. Don't get in a relationship. Just don't. It's not worth it.
Now, is the show you're
I love
doing
you.
Wednesday with the New Evangelicals, is that the special announcement that you had that you posted on our
basically,
okay.
yeah. That was the special announcement. I was gonna wait till the end, but I thought it worked so well with what we were
it did.
All
right, I just didn't know if there was anything else.
Sorry, I'm trying to sign into my Twitter now because
you're
somebody decided to go and change my password, that I have the same password for everything, and now Twitter is the only one with some weird ass random password. If you can't tell, I was really upset about this. No arguments were had. It's all peace. Okay. Bookmarks. Where are my bookmarks? Okay. How the hell? Okay. Thank you, Twitter. So this, I thought, this summed up perfectly, I thought, what Christian nationalism, Trump nationalism, all of that's been kind of going on with all of this. I think this sums it up well. Let's see. And here we go.
Christian nationalists have taken Trump as their new Christ because he's everything the first one was not. Jesus was poor. Trump is rich. Jesus was meek. Trump is a bully. Jesus lost. And Trump is obsessed with winning. I honestly think that if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance met Jesus today, they would ridicule him as a single, childless hippie. And in fact, Donald Trump Jr. explicitly rejected Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. He said, turning the other cheek has, quote, gotten us nothing. How did we get to the point where loving your enemy is weak and loving your neighbor is woke? I mean,
Is my neighbor Haitian?
literally rejecting the
What? What is it?
I said, is my neighbor Haitian? Because that's
my
going to
neighbor
make a
Haitian?
difference.
central teachings of Jesus, because those teachings don't serve their own self-interest. Christian nationalism is not about the way of Jesus. It's about the pursuit of power.
And so, yeah, this has kind of become a very interesting conversation here, Bob, between you and I, because literally what we're going to be talking about in the next few weeks and stuff with myself and other people is that I think, yeah, this Christian nationalism and Trump is incredibly dangerous. It's rising up more and more. I'm seeing it, it's this is for me the type of stuff that tears families apart because, like I said, these people become unreachable. And whether it's through the idea of that their pastor said, I had a dream last night. God prophesied to me that Trump's going to win the 2024 election, and he's meant to be the president, or whatever rhetoric that a lot of Christians are using nowadays. It's becoming, it is twisting the religion into something that it is. This is literally what Jesus warned about and called the Pharisees out on, and did all these things. And so, yeah, that's.
So do you think this is exclusive though to Trump with them, or do you think that if it was any candidate who was outspoken about faith and Christianity, you know what I mean? He doesn't constantly ramble on about it. He mentions it here or there.
He gives them it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing of the Biden quote during his interview a while back where he said, the KKK and all these people, racists and all these blah, 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 they're not afraid to come out and be up front anymore and just be in your face and do it because Donald Trump has kind of said he's given them that okay. Very much the same thing with the Christians. He's very much incentivized them and given them that okay to be like, you're a Christian nation and you deserve a say in these things and you're being persecuted and blah, blah, blah. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've been in the room with him, and pastors, and seen those discussions and stuff. And so he's not a dumb guy. I don't believe that guy is a Christian in any sense of the word. I don't believe that at home in private he ever says a prayer to God. But damn, he knows. But damn, he knows how to make it look good, like he does. And damn it, does he know how to make Christians believe that, and it's very weird because again, you
Yeah, but
have
that's the difference between winning and losing the election, maybe.
absolutely he knows that
Especially in them rural states.
and he knows that and stuff, and so he'll take advantage and do all that and say, but I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's been, and it's led to this very weird state. You have very big names in the Christian community and stuff that are, Christian, church isn't church on Sundays anymore. It's messages for Trump or politics or this or that. It's become all twisted and stuff, and it absolutely is on the rise. And so that's why for me, I cannot go like there's this mass persecution going on, and if it is, it's persecution of the right fucking thing, because that's not what Christianity is. What these people make it out to be, it's not. It's this Americanized, again, nationalist version of Christianity that Trump very much fed into, and that's not. It's not Jesus. That's not Christ. That's not love your neighbor. It's not any of these things that are talked about or preached in the Bible.
So I guess I would ask you though, since you consider the Bible to just be a book of fiction, why does it matter then? If none of
I
that,
don't. Okay, so it's a book of fiction, but it's an incredibly important book of fiction. It's a weird thing. It is both a historical book and it is both a poetry book. When you read a poetry, or read a poem or any of these things, you don't take it literally, but there are a hell of a lot of poetry, metaphors, parables, all these things in the Bible. We're not meant to take it. It's stories, right? We connect as human beings. We've always, throughout history and centuries, we connect through stories. We connect through, sometimes things that aren't necessarily. At the same time, there absolutely is historical fact, genealogies, and all these other things in the Bible. The Bible talks about discernment, which is given through the Holy Spirit, and that is being able to tell, what is what. What's historical, what is real, what is this probably happened, and it's meant to give me this lesson, and what's a parable, what's a story, what's fiction and a poem, and meant to impact me in that way. I completely agree with a lot of other people that have deconstructed and read the Bible again and done all these things where when I read the Bible from a perspective of this isn't inerrant, which is like the idea that the Bible cannot be wrong. Our current scripture, it cannot be wrong. It is without fail, perfect, inspired by God, no issues. And I don't think that's true. I'm sorry. And that's just based off of historical stuff. We've had multiple interpretations, multiple translations. King James, who literally was in control of it and made very clear, certain things that he liked and didn't like. Just like we do not have that the original word of God or whatever that was inspired. But that doesn't mean that what we do have can't be impactful or can't. The moment I started reading it from a point of view that it wasn't inherent, it became more impactful to me. And I was able to discern, okay, this is obviously something of the day. When you have in Romans 8, whatever, that it says, homosexuals are going to be, Paul is writing to the Corinthians, right? Homosexuals are going to be, are abominations and blah, 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 and all that. Well, homosexuality wasn't a word. Paul wouldn't have even that he would have just invented a brand new word if he wrote that down in his
no,
thing.
yeah. See, homosexuality isn't mentioned in the Bible. You're
right.
I don't know the scripture offhand, but
it's Romans. It's Romans 8 something.
Is it?
That it's Paul talking to the Corinthians. And again, that was interpreted at the time, King James and all these different things. In fact, the word homosexuality did not show up in the Bible until 1940. There's a brand new documentary that just came out on that, literally talking about the whole idea of what that was, how that got brought into modern day Christianity, and how it is where we're at now with people like Westboro Baptist Church and all these other things. Christians believe because it's inerrant, well, obviously the Bible's inerrant. That contradicts history, so the Bible must be right. And I don't think that was ever the intention of God or anybody. Like, God gave us brains for a reason, people. Like,
yes, but
you research, study, there are historical facts, and there things that were manipulated and things. That doesn't mean the Bible can't be as impactful or can't be as truthful in areas and things. I mean, like,
Okay, but how do you pick and choose then what's truth? Because
discernment. Again, the Bible talks about it.
but again, how do you discern? So when the Bible says,
The Holy Spirit.
so God tells you who is in fact the Holy Spirit. So
Right.
so God's giving you conflicting messaging. So he's telling you one thing in written form, but then giving you discernment to say, oh, this isn't
Right.
right. That
Right.
makes
Discern-
no
right.
sense. Does that sound
Why
like
not?
the work? Well, let me ask you, does that sound like the work of an all-powerful being?
Absolutely. Because it's
How?
still putting the choice in your hands. That's the beauty of it. The choice is still in your hands. You still get to choose. Okay, like, and that's the beauty of it too. Like, your decision, whatever choice you make, doesn't question your salvation either. It's not your definitive answer. You're going to hell or not. The fact is that a lot of Christians believe a lot of things that aren't true. A lot of Christians believe in a 7-day creation. I don't. Based off historical fact and science and stuff, it said, our Earth took years to develop and all these different things. That doesn't mean that God didn't work through that and still have his will be done. It just means that we maybe don't understand it, don't know the full details. We don't know what 7 days was to God. 7 days to God could have been 700 years or whatever, So we have no idea, but Christians love to think we know things for fact. And there's just a lot that we don't. Our whole religion is based off of faith. And so God gave us a brain. God gave us all these things. We have scientists and all these things and historians that have studied cultures and present us these facts and these things and stuff. And so, yeah, that's where the discernment comes from. If I'm looking at something in the Bible, and the current Bible is telling me, okay, Paul is saying homosexuality is wrong and all these things and stuff. But when I do my research and I go, okay, well, there wasn't a word for homosexuality back then because it was described as either lust, because it was described as either like in a pedophilic type way, right? Roman or people of power having child labor, or it was described as love, pure love between just two people in love. There was no word, that didn't happen till the 1940s. That one thing right there tells me, okay, well, man has manipulated the Bible and changed things and done things over the years and all these different things, right? So my discernment tells me with a little bit of research and gives me brains and says, this doesn't sound right because that kind of contradicts the love your neighbor, love everybody else, right? If gay people, if they're just truly in love, being there, living their lives, they're not like lustful, terrible people just having sex, with everybody and blah, 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 and whoring themselves out. Like that is love. That is the definition of what God says he wants between us as people. And so there's a contradiction there. So again, my discernment leads me to those things.
Okay, so now we're getting into weird shit. Okay.
Well, I know. So, by the way, guys, we're changing the title of this podcast.
Yeah, we just totally rolled off the hill here. Okay, so if that's the,
I love how we just go with it too. Like we just go with it, man.
So if that's what you're saying, this is really weird. Okay, I gotta think of how to say this properly.
I do just want to say this.
So let me ask you this. What was? Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Just to address this, because look, I don't know what's happening in the chat. I'm not really paying attention and stuff.
Yeah, no.
I just want to put this out there, Money Buddha. You're not going to convert anybody by hitting them over the head. You're not going to make any impact. You're not going to change anybody's mind. And there are going to be people whose minds you're not going to change ever. We're told to, if you're going to talk about it in love, talk about it in grace and peace. From what I've seen, a lot of the things that you're saying add up to a lot of nothing. Because for most people, not just Bradley, most people, any logical person, you come up to me and just tell me, you're going to hell because you're wearing a t-shirt that, has a bad word on it. You're wearing your shit happens t-shirt, which I have a little shit happens t-shirt with a bug on it. Like I'm going to blow you off. I'm going to think you're, funny. And that's not the point of Christianity. The point of Christianity is if you really care about somebody, you really want them to change, or you really want to impact their life or anything, then you're going to approach it in a love your neighbor type way. You're going to respect them. You're going to respect their views and stuff. And you're not going to try and force it on anybody, but you're going to let your life and your words and your things be an example. And it's all you're doing is hitting people over the head with stuff, and that's not going to get you anywhere. I just want to throw that out. Anyways, go ahead, Bob. If Bob's still there. Bob left because he was so bored.
No, I'm still here.
No, I'm kidding.
Right,
Paul came in just to say, isn't this a political podcast? Why are we discussing
Shut up,
theology?
Paul.
Yeah, shut up, Paul. It's our podcast. We get to decide what we discuss here. By the way,
No,
38 views on X. Thank you to everybody
thank you,
watching.
X. Thank you as always. No, Paul, it's not derailed. We've hit all of our topics, actually, honestly, that we wanted to cover on tonight's show. Now we're just kind of
We got
going
through
off.
everything.
We hit our topics,
and
then
it
we
works
just kind
out
of roller coastered off.
Because for about the next week, a lot of the stuff on the channel is going to be a lot of religious stuff. I'm going to be doing a solo video, just kind of leading up to stuff on Wednesday, and then Wednesday we have our interview. So this very much works for what's going to be happening on the channel. If you're watching this, you're interested in this type of talk. We talk politics, we talk movies. Come check us out on YouTube. Say hello. Now, sorry, Bob. I'm so sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I guess I would ask, in regards to wordage of the Bible, like, so obviously there's passages that are going to be changed as time goes on. Obviously, words added, like you said back in the 40s there. Now, if you look at where I believe Leviticus 20 something.
Okay.
Leviticus 20 something is where the actual mention comes in of if a man also lie with a man is lie with a woman, both of them have committed abomination, and the blood shall be upon them, or some shit like that. I'm paraphrasing, but I think I'm pretty close. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
you look at that now. Okay, like you said, there's going to be some people that take that text as literal and say, okay, so that is completely wrong. God said it's wrong. But you have to look at the context of why that's in there.
Yes. Look at the
when you
time
look
of
at the-
that. When was Leviticus written?
God, I don't fucking know.
Around the time of Abraham, and so you're looking around the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. And that was, you're looking at again. These aren't love relationships, right? Like, it's not, like me and Bradley, where we are in love. It's not, for sex or any of these things. I'm not
even saying it goes even into that thing. I'm
Right.
saying what this goes into is the reason why that's in there is because it goes to the divine plan and what we were put on this earth. If you believe in that sort of thing, exactly.
Right.
Go forward, be fruitful, and replenish.
Mhm.
So that's, I think, why. Now, I think that has been.
But then when Jesus came, we were giving a new command.
What?
Before Jesus left the earth, we were given a new command to go and spread the gospel. So our command was now just as that's what Jesus did. He didn't cut. He came to literally, say, like, these old laws are no longer. They're no longer. And all these things. This is the world. You got to, when Jesus came at that time, it was, the world is as it is. These are the new rules. This is how the world works now, with salvation, with a savior, somebody who has died and given up all their, given up their life for that, and with that holiness and power to do that.
But then isn't that, see, it's all contradictory then, because how are you?
Hold on, Bob. I want to hear your response to this.
The reason why you
white people. Yeah, Bob, you white people.
Oh, let me read this. Yeah, the reason why you white people have a hard time dealing with a black God is because you persecuted his people. Okay. Well, I'm not Roman, so I didn't do anything. Nor am I Jewish, so I didn't condemn him to death. Okay, so I'll start there. All right.
Don't lump my Bob in with the white people, all right? You
Yeah,
back. I'll defend Bob for
and you know what? And guess what? The people that persecuted his people, the only people that were white that time, close to white, were Romans. Everybody else was fucking olive skin back then. Okay, I don't care what color God is, black, white. It says it in the Bible that he was a bronze skin and hair. So you already know why? Because he's in the fucking Middle East. And what did they have there? Nothing but sun and no shade. So yeah, you're gonna be fucking darker than everybody, dude. Of course, especially back in, you know, 200 fucking 80 or whatever the fuck. So yeah, hard time dealing with Black God because you persecuted his people. No, we didn't persecute his people. You know who persecuted his people? Their own people, because that's how you guys got here. We didn't send for you. We didn't say, "Hey, we need your help. Come on down." No, no. Transatlantic slave trade was already in place, sir. You guys were some of you were even eager
You
to
got.
go. Some of you were even eager to go. Okay. And if we're going to talk about that, you're going to talk about persecution.
I want
you
to
also
clip
need
that.
to talk
I'm going
about.
to clip that.
You
Oh
also need to talk
God.
about the 12 documented black slave owners that owned slaves here in America during the time of slavery. That's a big fucking contradiction, isn't it? How does that work? You never hear about them people, but by God, you could surely find them. So, I mean, miss me with that, because
Miss me with
it
that.
really has nothing to do with anything. I don't think.
Oh no, you're
It's
gonna
not
be
what I
judged.
said.
You're gonna be judged for that shit, bro. You're gonna be
Bronze
judged for that
skin
shit,
and
Bob.
woolly hair. That's a black people lived in the
You
Sure,
you
nobody's disagreeing with you, Mr.
persecuted
Buddha.
his people, so you're gonna be judged for
Yeah,
it.
no, nobody. I'm not disagreeing with you, Buddha, that he was of any color. He most certainly was. If you're geographically born in that area, you're going to have fucking color, sir. Especially again in a time where it's not like everything was covered and you could run for shade anytime you wanted. No, that's not how it worked back then. Especially when you're just sitting in a desert with nothing. So.
He says he has brown skin and woolly hair. That's a black person. Black people lived in the Middle East because that's our chosen land. Because
Okay,
we're yeah,
cool.
as you do.
Congratulations, man. I'm happy you guys got land. What that really does, it plays neither hide nor hair to anything in today, unless you happen to live in Israel or Palestine. Then it's kind of an issue for you. Other than that, those are the only people that give a fuck about that. Who are the chosen ones? Who aren't the chosen ones? Okay, so, and that's even a conflict that, again, it's a religious conflict over land that we got going on here with them people. But all in all here, it's just, I don't know, we look at religion so crazily now, and yeah, there's a lot of people that get fanatic about it and get way too extreme.
Absolutely.
And I do agree with you as far as when it comes to Trump. You have the evangelical people that are like just batshit crazy for him, and the people
Yeah.
that are, like you said, that he's like the second coming. And I personally can't say for sure if that's just a him thing, like if that's just exclusive to him. That if there was another Republican candidate who was saying the same things that he's saying, that it wouldn't be the same type of, you know what I mean? That they wouldn't be praising that person in the same way. I don't know that for sure. I don't know if it's, like I said, just exclusive.
No, they absolutely. No, and that's kind of the scary thing, and what a lot of people like myself and Tim and these other people talk about is Trump nationalism is not going to die, or this national Christian nationalism is not going to die when Trump leaves. Like they're going to find somebody else to replace that and do all that. It's just now Trump was really the one to give them that voice and give them that stage and stuff, because before you didn't have it like that, where it was just so, again, you had on a world stage in major ways, preachers coming out, prophesying and doing this and that. I mean, it was a lot. It was very weird, to see Christians become so political, in that sense. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
We totally did derail, but that's what we do.
I have
here.
nowhere else to go with any of this. I'm
kind
of brain dead at the moment now.
I think it was good. I mean, we talked about everything we wanted to. You got a little bit more and extra in there.
Yeah, we got a lot more extra in there.
Thank you, Monkey Buddha, for or Money Buddha. My God, Monkey. I don't know why I do that. I don't. The Money Buddha. even that, I didn't even read Buddha right the first one. I don't know why your name is like a tongue
Well,
twister.
I appreciate that you love the show, Buddha. I mean,
Absolutely.
whether we agree or disagree with you, it's not the point. The point of this and why we started this to begin with was the fact that discourse in this sphere, specifically political talk, is so, I don't want to say heated because a heated debate is fine, but
Yeah.
it's just so polarized.
It's contentious. I would say it's contentious.
Exactly. Quick example. I've been seeing this thing on Twitter about some. I believe she is a liberal activist, trans rights activist, something like that. And she made I guess she's been making a series of videos, kind of. She hasn't endorsed one candidate or the other. Do you know who I'm talking about? You might have seen this.
You literally, yes, that was the last thing that I was going to bring up.
Okay.
I was going to bring that. Yeah, Chappelle, Ronan,
something like that. Yeah,
she's an artist. She's a fan, and she has been getting so much unnecessary hate, vitriol. It's just, as a Democrat, to see Democrats being the ones to say, it's disgusting. It
absolutely is, and she's not saying that she didn't say she was going to vote for Trump, and even if she did, that shouldn't be reason to give the girl hate. All she said was, she doesn't agree with policies on the right, and that there are some policies on the left that she thinks
she also has big issues with. Yes,
which is why she hasn't come out to fully endorse either candidate. She doesn't want to give an endorsement either way because she doesn't like things on both sides. That is a very fair point. That's a fair point to make.
Absolutely.
But like you said, and this is what's crazy, Democrats especially, why are you attacking one of your own? It's all because of she isn't saying the things that they want her to say, which is, oh, I'm voting for Harris, or, oh my God, Harris is so brat, she's going to win. And that's such a problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I hate it. It was, I saw this one video. I literally stopped watching the video.
Yeah, I had
to, because it was one guy. It was like, she goes, I have a lot of issues. I have obviously, she goes, I think obviously there are big issues with policies on the right. And the guy goes, yeah, okay. And then she goes, but there are policies. But then there are policies, and he goes, oh, you lost me. And I just stopped watching because I'm like, if you have that mentality, if you cannot even look at your own party and go, like, you really think the left's policies are all perfect and all 100% to the T? Like, come on, dude. Like, and if you're gonna be that, see, that's the type of people where I'm like, I can't. It's hard to have a conversation with you because at the end of the day, you're
you're already shut off to it. You're not even, you didn't even give the girl a chance to say. Now I'll say this: she kind of Kamala Harris her way through that because she didn't give specifics on what she didn't like on the left. She kind of vaguely, she did say there was some immigration policies and some, I think she said some LGBTQ plus policies.
I think she mentioned the genocide.
Yeah, yes, and she had some issues with something, and that is 100% fine. But that is why we do this show, because we want to be able to have these discussions, and we want to be able to have people see that you can have these discussions and not hate the other person at the end of the day. No matter what their political, religious, or any sort of other affiliation is, it doesn't matter. And again, Mr. Buddha, we appreciate you coming here.
Mr. Buddha.
Definitely appreciate you commenting and engaging and
absolutely
giving your opinion, man. Again, whether we agree, disagree, it's fine. At the end of the day, I don't hate you. Austin doesn't hate you. We're not blocking you or banning you or anything like that. Hopefully we see you again when we do this.
Absolutely, yeah. But, we're always looking to have discussions.
Exactly. We want to have discussions. And that's the whole point, is you need to be able to have these discussions. You need to be able to talk about topics that people might think are too sensitive or that run the risk of offending somebody. Because without it, that's when we stop doing that, that's when we're really going to lose this country, is when you can't have honest conversations with people. Okay?
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter about Exactly. The other amendments don't matter when you can't even keep hold of the first one. Once you lose that, the others don't matter. The others fall like dominoes. So we always have to keep this conversation going. And again, like I said, this is the reason why we do this, Mr. Buddha. We just want to keep the conversation open and somewhat engaging, somewhat entertaining, and just have it be out there in the ether.
Absolutely. With that, man, as always, I appreciate you being here for a new show. I'm enjoying kind of the live aspect of it.
Yeah, I
It
like the
makes
live
it,
aspect too. That was fun.
yeah, it's stuff. So probably doing that more. Obviously, we got stuff planned all throughout this month and stuff. For we got our debate coming up. We'll be definitely live covering that.
Oh yes, absolutely. That'll be a good
You know,
one.
but yeah, man. As always, I appreciate you being here. To all 38 viewers on
Woo!
X, Twitter, thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank you.
tuning in, for checking us out. If you liked us, if you didn't like us, if you hated us, whatever, leave a comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you. We do this obviously, as Bob said, just to kind of be an example, show that these conversations need to be had, and we want to have them. It always ends in all love and stuff, even though things may get a little heated throughout. That's the point. We passion doesn't mean that that we hate each other, or that we disagree.
Yeah.
In a way that's
And it doesn't make either
contentious.
of us wrong. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly. With that, everybody, we got like I said, next Wednesday. We are very, very much looking forward to our biggest interview on the channel yet, with Mr. Tim Whitaker of the New Evangelicals. You can check out his channel on YouTube, The New Evangelicals. They're constantly putting up new content and talking about what's going on politically, what's going on in the Christian sphere and stuff. Definitely a lot of information and stuff. So if you're into that, make sure to check it out. We'll be back this weekend with another little video kind of looking at Trump nationalism, where it's at right now, kind of what's been happening over the last couple months with it and stuff. And then as well as the Substance and Beetlejuice double review. So yeah, got some cool things coming out on the channel. We'll end it with a little teaser here for those of you that have been keeping up. I do have a short film I'm producing that will be coming out at the end of October. So we're going to start advertising that hard. You guys can check it out here on the YouTube channel, and we'll just play a little teaser for to end the show on.
It's been a long time. I was left for dead. All these kids playing murderer. Time to remind them who the real Woodsboro killer is. My awakening starts. Now.
So yeah, lots of stuff coming up in October. Lots of interviews, videos, podcasts. Make sure and stick around. Check us out on the YouTubes. With that, everybody, I so appreciate everybody being here and checking us out. Bob, any final words?
No, I just thank you everybody for showing up for this every time we come on, man. This is great. I love that we do this. I know we say this every week, and it's like a broken record, but it is awesome. I love doing this. Yeah, we absolutely do, and I appreciate anybody and everybody that comes and checks us out. And like Austin said, throw a comment in on Twitter if you're on Twitter watching. Come over on YouTube, comment on the video, tell me you hate me, you think I'm a bad person because I support Trump, tell Austin you love him because he's with Kamala Harris. Either way, we appreciate anything you guys do. Like, sub to Austin's channel, because again, he's got such great content coming up that you guys don't want to miss it. But thank you so much for having me as always, and we'll be doing this again very soon.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody, peace out. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
What can I